Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are live! What the fuck is up, gentlemen?
What's up?
Fantastic, brother. We're feeling
How we doing, guys?
beautiful Saturday night.
We got Dave with us again with Sam and Russ. Thank you for joining us, Dave. And
Absolutely.
This will be our
Yeah, Dave.
summer
It's
preview
awesome, man.
episode. I couldn't find a good title to go with 69 either. And I failed.
Damn.
There is so much good shit going on coming up,
Thank you,
man.
Wolfie. Love
Oh
you,
my
brother.
god,
What up, Wolfie?
we've got a lot of fun stuff coming this summer. It's gonna be good, man.
So you know, I was
Yeah.
and not to cut off the bullshit thing, but dude, I was thinking about like the last time. You know, it's mostly because it's Mad Max. What Furiosa was the newest one, right? It's not,
Yeah.
it's not doing well, and Fury Road didn't do that well either. I don't think
hmm
in the box office.
Right.
Like it
Yeah.
didn't make like a stupid amount of money, but it was critically highly regarded. And I love that movie. I think that's
Yeah, I do too.
probably like
I
one
do
of my
too.
favorite movies. Just generally,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
my favorite movies of all time. It's one of them. It's just shot beautifully. Effects look great, you know, and it's just,
Yeah.
you start it and you can't stop it. They don't give you a minute to breathe. I was thinking about that, man, and it's like what has happened, like because I was thinking mostly because of when that movie came out. It was 2014 or 15.
Let me see.
For Fury
Tell
Road,
me.
Fury Road, yeah.
I thought Fury Road was more recent than that. What?
Yeah, we're almost at 10 years.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow, boy, time
2015
goes.
2015.
That
Yep.
yeah, I swear to God, I did not think 2015.
May 15th to 2015.
Yep.
Yeah,
Now,
brother.
and I saw that
yeah.
in theaters because I watched the trailer for that and I was like,
Mhm.
and I'd never seen a Mad Max movie up to that point. I still haven't.
Damn.
That's still the only one I've ever seen.
Really, you haven't seen Beyond
Wow.
Thunderdome? Or oh my
Like,
gosh,
Classic.
No attachment to the franchise. no
yeah.
Saw that movie, loved it, and then you know, and I'm thinking like, and I was kind of thinking back, what else did I see? I saw a lot of fucking movies that year, the year before, and now it's like, man, I maybe go to 2 a year, and it's
I
not
haven't
really-
been to one. I don't know how long.
Dude, it's tough. So
Yeah,
then
I
what
think
I've
it's-
seen, the most recent Kong vs. Godzilla because Eli wanted to see that. I wouldn't have seen that in theaters otherwise. We saw and I'm trying to not include stuff that's like we saw Mario. That was just for my kids. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
have seen that in theaters, but we saw Spider-Man, like the newest one, a couple years ago. We saw the Batman. I took the kids to see that.
That's the last thing I seen in the theater.
Yeah, and then what else did we most recent? Oh, we saw the Planet of the Apes, the newest one, and I would have seen that, you know, without the kids, but they're into that too.
Nice.
And I was like thinking, like, man, like 2014, 2015 was Captain America: Winter Soldier had just come out, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of thinking back of like no matter what the franchise is, like it, and also I think 2014 was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Mhm.
I was thinking, I'm like, man, because I thought Fury Road came out in 2014, which doesn't really change how I think about this, but I was like, he's like, there's just, and I think people now it's different because I think back then you were more likely to take the risk on seeing a movie because I feel like the majority of what you were getting like was quality product, right? And I think that is just like not the case anymore. And I think the two biggest things are like the MCU. I think it's still going, but I think like in many people's minds that shit's just done and over with. And then COVID, I think, changed the way that people experience movies, and not mostly because of people, but because if you don't want to see something in theaters, you can be pretty confident in 3 weeks it's going to be on streaming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if you got to
yeah.
pay $20 just to rent it for 2 nights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
like-
even more are just releasing straight to streaming.
Yeah, like
they started
True.
with like
The
Black Widow
release
instead
and
of
everything.
when
Yeah.
Black Widow came out. Black Widow was supposed to go to the theater. COVID was hit.
And
They
that
just-
and like they're doing less of that since
Yeah.
they're further out because like that
Yes.
Right.
like that or that first I guess Godzilla vs Kong movie came straight to HBO Max, and like they are doing less of that, but I think even with just a strict theater release, like it's 3 weeks I feel
Right.
like and
Right.
It's on streaming.
I want to kind of circle back to the Mad Max franchise. Like, the thing that people don't understand is, like, Fury Road is the first Mad Max movie that made any money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
well, a lot.
I'm looking here. Mad Max itself made $8 million.
But that was also a long, long time ago, though, too.
Right, 1980. But still, there were movies that made a lot more than that.
I agree with that. But that was a low-budget movie, too. Mad Max was a low-budget.
And the sequel made 23.
Right. And that's, that was Road Warrior.
Beyond Thunderdome only made 36.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but again, 36 million in the 80s was a lot. It was pretty. That's a pretty good haul.
What the budget's
for a movie? But I know there were other movies in the 80s that did more than that. I know, but and they were real blockbusters. But that's the budget.
Like the budget for the first one, especially
I
bet that was in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like even if
probably
it's that high up, but.
Yeah, but I would agree with you. I think Fury Road. I love that movie, and I think it. I mean, but I guarantee you the budget was probably a lot higher for Fury Road than it was for any of the other old ones.
Yeah. Just to put it in perspective for you. Rain Man
for a long time.
made 10 times as much as fucking the Road Warrior.
Okay, but Rain Man was also a really, really good man. Dustin Hoffman, a really good movie.
I'm talking about okay.
Yeah, like an Academy Award-winning movie, and
something along the same budget.
Right,
fucking Crocodile Dundee, $328 million.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop, $316.
Yeah,
different categories.
But I mean, those movies are. I don't know. I can't help but to think like that. Mad Max is kind of a niche movie though, because you got to be into the post-apocalyptic kind of stuff to really enjoy those movies. If you're not into any kind of post-apocalyptic shit, you're not gonna like those movies. And I feel like Beverly Hills Cop is got is a kind of movie that a broader audience has a broader,
right. But what I'm saying, but that really has nothing to do with it. What we're saying,
money wise,
it has everything. It has everything to do with it. Because what I'm saying is, Mad Max's percentage of the market is going to be a lot smaller because they're going to have a lot less people interested in that type of movie versus what a movie like Beverly Hills Cop or even Crocodile Dundee was a comedy basically. So I mean, and it was they marketed that shit out of that movie too.
There's a different degree here. It made 10 times the amount that.
And
what I'm trying to say is Fury Road was a fucking anomaly for the Mad Max franchise.
Yeah.
Well,
Furiosa,
No, I agree.
The box office for Furiosa, if you look and
I haven't even seen what it is.
Chart it, it's $55 million right now.
Okay.
That's the franchise coming back down to what it's always been.
Right. To where it's been somewhat of an underperforming franchise. I mean, as far as again, but I think it underperforms because it's a niche type of.
I think that franchise is ultimately it's a cult franchise.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Maybe you say that ends it. I don't know if that. At Fury Road, but I think up until then I think it's a cult franchise. It's not
the thing to look at too is that it's not just how much they make, it's how much they make subtract budget equals now what are we looking at? And for Fury Road, domestically it made about 155 million. That overall it made about 320, but the budget was 165 million. It was between 150 and 180. So
and not that this matters.
Yeah.
Budget was overblown because they had to pause shooting for a number of months and because there was flooding and shit, and then they had there were reshoots involved in that, which any day that you have a film studio or a film, if a film's in progress and you go an hour and let's say one of your cast members is late and you have that hour, everybody's on set, that's just money.
There's money going,
So take that and then amplify it or multiply it by months.
Sure.
So it's like it's just empty calories, so you're not getting anything for what you're bringing, So, but
that's like a huge criticism of actors that are like, too like big in their britches of like showing up to sets late. Like that's like it's actually like a really huge fucking deal.
It is.
Oh, definitely.
It's the difference between a movie making, $100 million and a movie making $40 million is because, with reports lately of, someone like The Rock showing up 8 hours late.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not, if he did or didn't, but 8 hours.
I think that is from what I hear that there's got to be something to that.
Yeah,
because I've heard that from so many different places, and he's worked with so many different studios. And he's a strange case, but I think it's like the kind of movie patterns that came out as a result of COVID of like things getting put on stream. But I think again, it's like I think just the MCU kind of being done and over, even though it's not technically, but post Endgame, I think a ton of people dropped off and lost interest, myself included. Not that I haven't watched post Endgame stuff or enjoyed some of it, but it's different. I mean, going into that, a lot of that was must see.
Oh, for sure.
And that is just different now, man.
Yeah, it's not the same for sure.
Well, the last MCU movie was the Marvels, and that lost a ton of money.
I guess that was the most recent one. Yeah.
That, I ain't gonna lie.
November.
I had a hard time with that movie. I did. I tried to enjoy it. I really did.
I did not.
I feel the same way. Like
same.
Since Black Widow, I haven't enjoyed anything.
I swear to God, I've tried to enjoy them, and I can't.
Yeah.
I don't have the same feeling that I had. I just don't for the movie.
And I think what got me thinking about this was I just listened to the kind of discussion about Furiosa coming out, and then Eli just put on Captain America: Winter Soldier, and like he put it on, and we kind of like all kind of stopped and gathered on the TV and watched the whole thing between like we started, did dinner shit, and then picked it back up, and I was like, God damn, this shit was fucking. And now that's one of the best ones. Like
I listed as number one for me.
It's my same. Yep. So I'm trying to keep that into consideration too. But then just like, and it was all pretty much like at least stacked up to this, right? Like some stuff was maybe for a little bit more forgettable, like. The Thor 2 came out around that time, which was again wasn't terrible, but when
you compare it to the other MCU stuff at the time, it was. I mean,
I'm like,
I would kill for them to make a movie as good as Iron Man 3 right now.
Yeah,
dude,
I love Iron Man 3. That was really good.
I like that movie.
Yeah, me too.
But if you remember, the backlash was that it was a shitty movie.
People hated it.
Yeah, I couldn't understand it. Right?
It did some goofy stuff that had to be retconned later, but I don't know. I mean, I remember leaving the theater and being like, I really like that. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
I think it's fun that they're bringing back fucking the leader.
Oh yeah,
from Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
I forget that dude's name.
Samuel Stern, I think. Oh, well, that's the character's name.
He was the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Yeah.
I
love that movie.
I've never movie. I forget his name though. Like this, but it's the actor. He's a
And he's gonna be in Thunderbolts, right? He's coming back with. He's gonna be in that one.
I don't know if I haven't.
Oh, and two, you gotta remember that just came to my mind that they lost their primary villain they were going to have for this next phase of the MCU.
Yeah.
Kang, the actor that played Kang is gone.
And that's an important point, Dave, but all of my thoughts about this are like, that's irrelevant to it, right? Like wherever I stand with it, put Jonathan Majors back in, erase all that shit that he did, and he's back in. Doesn't change how I feel about any stuff.
No.
They've
still been lackluster, but
yeah, they were building everything around the dude.
Yeah, when they're at least they got it early. They only had a couple movies. They only had that Loki series. They only had some.
Yeah,
some
and I think stuff. Like at this point, like after what happened with
Loki season 2,
like after what happened with Chadwick Boseman, just recast immediately because nobody gives a shit, man. Everyone was kind of bummed that they had that they didn't recast Chadwick Boseman by the time that second Black Panther movie came around, which I actually did like that movie.
It wasn't as good as the first, but I liked it. I sat down and watched it.
Yeah, it was all right. Black Panther 2 was good.
It was better than most of the tripe they put out right now.
I would say so.
When you've got an MCU movie that loses almost $100 million, like the Marvels lost almost $100 million.
They got to figure that out, man.
They only made worldwide $200 million, and that's a lot. But for an MCU movie, it's not considering the budget.
No, you're right.
Considering the first one made $1 billion.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, you're talking about that's an underperformance.
A lot of times, like with that movie, with the Marvels, it's something I see, and I'm like, okay, but who asked for this movie, right? Like who was the fan base clamoring for that? But I always have to be careful because I said the same thing in 2014 when I saw the first trailers for Guardians of the Galaxy. So who the fuck wants it? Who's asking? And then we ended up being pretty dang good. A little bit of a franchise and everything. And
I felt like
the first two, anyways. God damn it! Anybody fuck that third movie?
Still haven't seen it. Nick never will.
I felt that way about
before I watch any of those Venom movies, man.
Doctor Strange was that way for me too. I was like, fucking Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is my favorite Marvel movie.
Okay.
I love that.
It's good, man. Good.
The Doctor Strange slander, like, fucking boggles my mind.
Good,
I don't get it.
People, like the second, I don't know. Maybe like I'm such a Sam Raimi mark that like the second one doesn't bother me.
Cool. That was very much.
I actually enjoyed the second one. Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Nick, that second one has a watermark on it. This is the bottom screen. Sam Raimi production. It hit all the hallmarks of it, man.
It's
going forward. I mean, Thunderbolt sounds cool.
Yeah, we'll see, dude.
I don't know much about Thunderbolts. I don't. It's another.
On the Russian site, comrade. There was just a Thunderbolts miniseries.
Yeah.
And it was dope, and it has basically the cast of the movie in it.
Yeah, I think I'm sure they're doing that intentionally. But from what I heard from this, it sounds like they're kind of mixing like Thunderbolts and the Dark Avengers together. Which Dark Avengers was because Brian Bendis and I forget the artist Mike Deodato did the first little bit of run. That was really good, and I've read all that and really enjoyed it. I haven't read much Thunderbolts. But if they do like that Dark Avengers stuff, that can be fun and interesting.
I don't think you weren't even born when Thunderbolts came out, were you?
What year was that?
Like, fuck, it had to be 95.
Yeah, no, I was born in
95.
I wasn't reading comics, or I wasn't buying my own comics. Yeah. I was reading,
but like
it was in my
that was one of the big. All right, man. That was one of the biggest shocks ever in a comic.
Yeah.
Like, that was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in this, I know that they're introducing Sentry.
Yeah.
So in the Dark Avengers was Norman Osborn, so you'd have to introduce him, which would be tough. Yeah. Wolverine's son, which again,
Dawkins.
Yeah, you have to introduce him, which would be tough. But Matt Gargan.
Wait, is it like a legit son of Wolverine or a clone?
Yes. No.
So it's his son. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Matt Gargan, who was in the MCU.
Scorpion.
Like, you have to find that dude. Yeah, and then Bullseye.
Bullseye, yeah.
Was Hawkeye. So
and Moonstone.
Moonstone, yeah, which would be
she was the Miss Marvel.
Yeah, and to be another character. So like, a lot of characters. Yeah. So maybe the Dark Avengers thing's a stretch,
but like you got to look at the cast of this movie. They got Winter Soldier,
Ghost,
fucking all them people from Captain America and the Winter Soldier, U.S. Agent.
Yes,
Red Hulk.
I'm excited about that.
Harrison Ford is Red Hulk.
Harrison Ford is taking up who played it before.
William
Hurt.
William Hurt.
Rest in peace, man. That sucks.
Rest in peace to that dude. Yeah.
Great that's a bummer. But I mean, Harrison Ford is someone can do it.
Yeah,
you know?
he's great. He's great.
Yeah.
Good job.
Wait. Harrison Ford's playing who?
Thunderbolt
Ross for Red Hulk.
William Ross.
He's so fucking old. What's he doing?
Dude, what is Thunderbolt Ross?
William Hurt, man. Yeah,
Is Thunderbolt Ross that old?
Yes.
Fucking Harrison Ford's like
William Hurt was
like Dusty,
old,
dude. What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! I just watched it.
I didn't dig much of the Thunderbolts comic. Now I have the first run of Red Hulk. Now I did like Red
Jeff
Hulk
Loeb
because
and McGinnis,
I was a big fan of Hulk.
Yeah, and there's been a few. I mean, even there's been a few different Thunderbolts iterations. Well, and then I think Taskmaster is going to be in.
Taskmaster's in this. Red Guardian.
Red Guardian.
Oh yeah,
my girlfriend Florence Pugh, White Widow.
Yeah.
Yelena.
Nick, have you seen Oppenheimer yet?
No.
Dude, you can see her naked twice.
Yes.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Doing?
Real early in the movie too.
Watch it tonight. Yeah, earlier and then later.
Yep.
I'll go to Mr. Skin and get the time marks.
Dude, watch the whole dang movie, Nick. It's a good movie.
It's a good movie, but God, she's fucking hot. Jesus.
Nick's
best fucking websites ever.
I watched one of those Venom movies, man.
Yep. That's
He's
it.
holding me
I
hostage.
ain't watching Barbie. I ain't watching Oppenheimer. Fuck it all.
Oh man, Oppenheimer's supposed to be a really good movie though. That's why I heard it.
Russ ain't see it.
No, Anna wants to. Wow, I'm watching now. Naked Chicken. I don't want to know.
We're watching with Anna, buddy.
Well, Anna wanted to see it. I just haven't.
Florence Pugh fan. I am, and I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
I wasn't expecting it in a Nolan movie. You know what I mean?
Same. I wasn't expecting that from her at all in that movie. So when I see a little nipple pop through, I went, okay, here we go. We're starting off great now. Let's do this.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it.
To me, she's the best new character they've introduced in the MCU.
Yeah, she's cool, man.
But makes
also
me laugh. She was good in Hawkeye too.
Yeah, and also a good character from the comics too. So.
Yeah,
sure.
They just had a mini for her too that was really good.
Yeah. Who did that?
God only knows. I have no idea.
And that,
I didn't pay attention to the writer on that. It wasn't anybody.
Red Guardian, right? I said Red Guardian. David Harbour's character, Red Guardian.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
He's good, man.
I like him as an actor. So
they had to recast the Sentry from Stephen Yeun.
Yeah, he did. Do you blame him, man? I mean, I don't know what else he'd be doing that would be better than that, but I wonder who they're gonna do. And I gather he's gonna be the villain of that, which is cool.
The Sentry villain, is that Void?
Void, yeah.
Void, yeah.
Robert Reynolds. I love that shit, man. That Brian Bendis. That was what the first. Well, no, there was some Avengers stuff that dealt with him, and then I think that was the first arc of the Dark Avengers. Dealt with that. Well, and it all dealt with that, leading up to Siege, which is one of I think that's Bendis's best stuff he did as far as event books on the Avengers go, because the Sentry was the main villain of that, and he was a fucking menace. And you had Olivier Coipel doing the art for that, and that dude just he's always good, but he was just there was not one missed stroke in that book. It's just perfect. Every panel is just perfect.
Yeah,
Bendis did it, and I think in 4 issues, which is
for
he should have been working under.
Right.
Yeah. Because I'm looking back at the fucking Secret Invasion shit that spent 4 of 6 issues in the fucking Savage Land, and
this guy they recast for the Sentry looks the
Who
part.
Is it?
It's
Who
Lewis
is it?
Pullman, Bill Pullman's son.
Oh yes, yes,
perfect.
yeah. I've seen that and seen him, and that's all on the money.
Yeah,
and man, that might be one of those things where you get a recast. Recast always.
Oh yeah, he looks perfect for the part.
Yeah,
it's you never want to see a recast, but sometimes it does just work out like that.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just seen a mock-up. I just looked at the mock-up for it, and looks the part of what I'd see for Sentry, the long blonde hair. And
I hope they don't go with that corny ass red and black costume. I want.
Yeah, well, that's the newer one of when he's
Yeah, I want blue and gold, man.
I want
blue and gold, yeah, or gold and blue. I guess mostly gold.
Technically, yeah.
So really cool character, newer character. You know, like within
Paul
the past
Jenkins,
20 years, and I think 2004 was when he debuted. But
was it?
Yeah, just a.
Wow, was it that soon?
I think it was that recent. Yeah.
So, just out of curiosity, and I don't mean to derail it at all, but if you had to pick one story arc from Marvel that hasn't been displayed in the MCU at all, that where they could go somewhere with it, what is one of your favorite arcs that you'd like to see on the big screen?
Oh, shit. Maybe the one I'm reading right now.
Yeah, you almost got to go with some X-Men stuff, but I would like to see. I kind of sticking to this.
I don't know.
I would like to see Dark Avengers into Siege with what they have left. You know, that featured heavily Iron Man and Captain America, which you couldn't do. But it's an Earth-based story for the most part, and it's like, I think it captures what we are in right now. Like, these aren't the real Avengers, right?
Yeah.
And you do that, and you kind of like lean into that a little bit, and then at the end of that story, like, the real Avengers were back, and it was cool. I think it could be done rather quickly too, within a couple of years of these movies. But yeah, that's what I think that'd be cool, and I think that kind of works with the pieces that we have on the table right now.
If I could save the MCU, I'll tell you the movie I'd put together.
Yeah.
And all of them are there now. The fucking Defenders, bro.
The Defenders?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There you go.
You fucking go fucking Doctor Strange, Hulk,
Namor,
and the Surfer's coming soon.
Oh, yeah.
See, now you lost me. Anyway,
I love it. I love it.
Oh god, fuck that silver bitch.
And then like everybody liked, Civil War. What's up, Tyler?
Yeah, Civil War was good. It was good.
Absolutely.
But
you know what you could build to with that? The Defenders Avengers War.
Yep.
And like, there's characters that cross over from Avengers to Defenders to X-Men to Champions, like all that old shit. So that's my answer. Like, the Defenders were like, I like that goofy 70s like psychedelic
like the Great Lakes Avengers.
Oh man, Flatman, Mr. Immortal, Big Bertha.
Big Bertha, yeah. What do you think, Russ? What are you thinking?
I'm probably thinking. I really enjoyed the whole Secret Wars thing back in the day. I've always been a fan of the Secret Wars stuff. And there's been a couple of different versions of it, that have been done, and I every version of it I think has been done well. I think no matter who it is, I think it's fun because you can get so many characters from across the Marvel universe to be involved in it, and it kind of reminds me of what I'm reading right now, this whole Blood Hunt. Blood Hunt thing, because it's incorporating so many characters. And
that Secret Wars is a good one too, because you could do that with any iteration of like, if you just have characters that are involved, like that are on the screen, you could do Secret Wars. Like, you don't need to have certain ones. You need to
another one like that you could do. Contest of Champions.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, you don't have to have the connect. You don't have to connect the movies. You don't really have to.
And let's be honest, everybody loves Jeff Goldblum.
Oh yeah. He was so good in that role, man. He was so good. I like that character. This was a funny, fucking great guy. That's my champion. My champion's great. I love the man.
That kind of plays off into where because I know we've already seen Sakaar and whatnot, and Thor.
It's all established.
I would love to see Scar.
I would love to see a real, and they can't because they've already done. They haven't portrayed the Hulk nearly what they should, but going through Planet Hulk through World War Hulk.
Yeah, that's one where it's like if you could go back in time and do one and it makes sense. He was off world for so long, maybe they could do that, Dave, where they could do like, here's what happened, like in the time before you caught up with them on Sakaar or whatever. Like this is what he was doing.
Yeah, because in story he was gone for quite a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, in Silver Surfer, Russ features pretty heavily
Walt
in that.
Says World War Hulk.
I'm with you, Walt.
Well, I mean, nobody's
Back in Black. I think that's way too convoluted.
Nothing's perfect, but if you got to throw the fucking silver douchebag into it, you might as well go ahead.
Yeah, what character would you like to see him like really shoddily replaced with?
Go with Hercules, if anyone.
Yeah. He's in the MCU now,
they teased him in the MCU, and he's also got this, the strength to kind of fight. So I would say Hercules.
Match him in that physical.
You know what we also have in the MCU, even though we're losing Gamora? We have a Pip the Troll now. We have a Drax the Destroyer that would love to do the role again.
We do have Drax, and Drax is a good. I like Drax.
No matter how bad he is, we do have an Adam Warlock.
Bad casting. Bad casting.
We would have to change that, though. Yeah, Adam Warlock would have to be.
That was so bad. Because I love Adam Warlock, and he's so much. He played him goofy and stupid.
I know.
And Adam Warlock is brilliant. And that was just horrible.
I completely agree with you. They took a character that's kind of a badass, really, and they made him like a laughing. You laugh at him, kind of. It's like, come on, man. I mean, I don't know. It was very disappointing on that part.
I also never ever want to see their version of MODOK again in my life. That was
tough, man. Because I know like. They have at times like leaned on goofy stuff, but like we mentioned this movie already, but Winter Soldier like did none of that. Like there were obviously laughs because like you do need it's called comic relief.
I get it
because it relieves the tension, but it's like that movie just 100% played it straight, and everybody loved it, man. And it's why do they take the lesson that like you need to ham everything up? Like it just seems so strange, man. Like I don't know how much movie that made, if it made more than this movie or the next one, but it's like that movie's just so highly regarded.
You look. The thing is like they didn't expect anything from Guardians. They added that. That was the left turn. Bang. That was the left turn of that. And then after Thor 2 bombed. And they got Taika Waititi on Thor.
Yeah.
I mean, everything else after that had way too much silliness.
Yeah.
Anything
that the Russo brothers touched, it stays pretty clear that. But yeah, everything else, I feel like it just like that seems to be the crutch that
and I look, I don't mind a little bit of silliness here and there, but they started making it where it was just too much, man. I'm sorry, it was just too much. It was the problem I had with Ragnarok.
They turned the whole
issue with it.
Thor, the two biggest powerhouses in Marvel, into jokes.
Yep. Yes, exactly. And they kind of did, and I mean, and I got it.
Really just ruined Hulk beyond. Like there's how do you fix where he
that's
is?
What I wanted to say when you guys were talking about World War Hulk. I have the exact idea. They've introduced this multiverse. They're already having two different Mr. Fantastics within his first two appearances in the fucking universe. Let's go back and have Edward Norton come back as the Hulk and do World War Hulk.
Perfect.
Dude, I'd be okay with bringing Eric Bana back. He's a great actor, man, and he does these like Australian based movies because he's an Australian dude. I think the first one's called The Dry. It's like based off a novel. It's good, man. There's another one coming out, but like that dude, I wish he was just doing more acting because he's really good. I thought, and that movie is what it was. But I think he could come right back in and do a great job. Like I think he's that caliber of actor, in my opinion. Edward Norton, the same thing. Not to throw shade at Edward Norton, he's really good.
I think what I felt like they wanted so badly to do was create a version of the Hulk, where they can use Ruffalo more. as have them actually speaking a lot and everything. And I know what they were trying to, but it drove me
the guy that you want.
Yeah,
but then
the Hulk is.
Yeah, and it's tough because that's one of those things where I feel like they did make a lot of decisions that weren't necessarily thought out, like how they play out in like literally the next movie. So I think like having him where he was in like Infinity War, I'm not sure how much that served the story.
I just didn't.
Like it was this. It's now been this.
So now you actually give him some serious speaking lines.
When he's fighting that other big dude at the end,
he
hulks out, beats that dude's ass, and then in Infinity or in Endgame, you don't have to do much else. He can hulk out. Maybe he can like control it better, and it's not that like kind of like plot impediment that it was in like maybe Avengers 1, where it's like he can hulk out or whatever, but. Yeah, it's just like why did they do this thing? Because it's just going to create problems later, and then
they create multiple versions of these characters as soon as they possibly can. Multiple suits, multiple personalities, multiple incarnations.
Absolutely.
So I mean,
that's
what we're getting, and the Hulk and Thor have been the worst.
I agree. I felt like, it's funny. I didn't. Actually, even for the first Thor movie was okay, but even in the first Thor movie, I felt like there were some silly moments that drove me crazy too. But
I think that's less so of trying to lean into humor and more so like Kenneth Branagh is just not. I don't like that dude.
Not that great as a director.
Right. You're probably right, but
for us, he's really good. He'd be a really good ABC primetime TV show director.
I see what you're saying. All right,
TV stuff, right?
Yeah,
after school special ship,
Masterpiece Theater.
There's really a difference though. Like there are why some people like you look at their catalog and they only do episodes of fucking Chicago PD or whatever. Like
right.
People like it and makes a lot of money, but the reason like they do that and then some guys are movie directors. Like I think Kenneth Branagh I think a lot of like the silliness is like it's just hokey shit that
he has a European style that doesn't translate well to American film.
Well, and it's not even that. It's just he's 15 years too late. I mean, you watch movies like the amount of like tilted shots that are used and everything just seems so rudimentary. But it's like, oh no, this is what movies look like in 1996. Like you watch Batman and Robin or Batman Forever, and it's like those movies are almost like on par with one another. The production quality is better in Thor, but just the selection of shots used, it just like how screams of a movie of a different era.
He uses way too wide of a camera.
Yeah,
I don't know. I know all directors have their own styles and stuff, but goddamn, man, sometimes it's the writing too that sucks.
Shit. Well, I think
you got to look at every facet of production.
For sure. That movie, like as far as plot goes, was a very basic and simple story, which I think I don't think there's Fury Road was the same way. A movie which I just spoke really well of.
Yeah,
it's a simple and straightforward story. I don't think that's an impediment, but when you have that, and again, maybe the writing isn't the best, and to me, like aesthetics are I value that so much. So it's the same thing where it's like I will put down a comic book if I don't like the artist who's involved in it, and there's exceptions to that, but I just couldn't get past his Kenneth Branagh's directing of that, and I don't know who the cinematographer is. I'd have to look that up, but.
Well, you can see it in all of Kenneth Branagh's work. If you look at the Hercule Poirot shit that he's done recently, if you even go back to his Hamlet, where he directed himself, you can see the same thing. It's like every shot is like a panoramic view.
Yeah,
if you look at the destroyer scene in Thor, like you can see it because it's supposed to be an alley. Like you would think you would shoot it like a western.
I'd shoot it smaller.
Yeah. And like his is super wide, you know.
Yeah.
And as an actor, I like him a bit. He was really good in Tenet, that Nolan movie.
He was really good in Harry Potter. I liked him. I thought he was he was a fucking fool, and I loved it. Gilderoy Lockhart.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like
Gilderoy
great.
Lockhart's character was a fool, so he played it very, very well.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was great. That's beautiful.
But like, then he does like. I hate his directing in Hamlet, but he's an amazing Shakespearean actor.
Yeah,
sure. That's fitting.
High caliber.
So why don't we go ahead and transition into wrestling?
All right. Well, we got some good stuff going up, man. It's great. The WWE for the first time is. We were just talking about this before the show a little bit too. I never thought I'd see it happen, but they're actually doing some business with a smaller promotion, and they've opened the forbidden door, and we're gonna have the TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace is gonna be challenging for the NXT Women's title. She's gonna be going against Roxanne Perez. And Roxanne Perez is awesome. She's like a Booker T trainer, and she's like a pistol shit, man. I like her a lot. She was like a face at first, and they turned her heel. Now she's fucking awesome, dude. Yep. I love it. She was meant to be a heel, man. This is perfect for her, you know. And she's just kick ass. And Jordan, they even had Jordan Grace have a match on NXT this past Tuesday against another chick, kind of a warm up match. And I was like, holy shit. Wow.
Yeah, that's huge. It's history. They've never done that before because the previous administration had the mindset of if I don't create it, it never existed.
Absolutely.
All of these, for the most part, the established talent that came in, new names, new everything, with exceptions of like AJ Styles and a couple of guys. But for the most part, they would come in and I didn't create it, so I'm going to create from here on out. And it's everything. And Roxanne, to your point, when Mandy Rose had to go away and they threw Roxanne, there's that plucky baby face. Yeah, she was drowning. It wasn't her.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't working. It was the same thing when they were pushing Roman Reigns down our throats as that baby face. It didn't work. They got booed out of the building, and it wasn't going anywhere. And now she's found her steps.
Yeah, once they got rid of Mandy Rose, you could tell that was a rushed decision as well.
Absolutely.
With it, and kind of threw the belt on the girl, and he threw the belt on her and said, "Now you got to be a face." And it just seemed like it was an uncomfortable position for her to be in.
For sure.
You know, and then they had it was a perfect storyline. She has this moment where she has a fainting spell in the ring and passes out. And I think that was real deal. I don't know. Supposedly it was a real deal. Who knows? Probably was part of the story. I don't know. But
who knows?
Who can tell, right? But she comes back and her whole thing is, I never lost the belt. I'm the champion. Mm-hmm. You know, and you can see she's been fighting for the whole year trying to get her belt back, and now all of a sudden she just gets irritated and says, "Fuck them!" Yeah, I love it. I'm like, yes, man. They built her up. It was great, you know.
Fantastic,
yeah. And Jordan Grace is a pretty good in-ring worker. I heard rumor that the WWE really wants her bad.
I bet.
When her contract is up with TNA, that's going to be a major pursuit. I think they lie. I mean, what's not to like? She's buff. She's got like a little tiny China. You know, right. She's just unreal, right? I mean,
look at the future matches they could, in a year down the line. That's Jade Cargill. It's Bianca Belair. It's Rhea Ripley. It's Ivy Nile.
Absolutely, all these powerhouses, for women.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're definitely looking at some good stuff that can happen. And I think this is kind of the WWE's getting an opportunity to see her in action before. It's almost like testing the product before they buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and it's a smart way to do it. Not doing it in a warehouse full of 3 people. It's putting them out there in something that matters and seeing how they respond.
Absolutely, and I know that there's also some WWE talent that's apparently going to appear on TNA's weekly show. I guess it comes on Thursday. I think Thursdays. It's And I think they pre-recorded. I think they
TV.
Yeah, I think they pre-recorded. Yeah, I think they pre-recorded the episodes. So, they're not live. I don't believe. So So I guess I don't know when it's gonna happen, but they're gonna have some wrestlers are gonna be going over there and to do some business.
Remember in the '90s they did this with ECW.
Yes, they did.
They sent Brackus and some other guys down to ECW, and then RVD and a couple other guys came up, and it was short-lived until ECW shut down. But they gave that a little go back then. This is significantly more important. Now we're talking about champions. Now we're talking about premium live events or pay-per-views.
Yeah.
But I think that people that don't remember history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
Because if you look at what WWE did to ECW, this is the exact start of it. What they're doing to TNA right now, which is a struggling promotion.
It is. It's not. Yeah, it's not.
But they do have talent that WWE would like.
Oh, they do.
That's exactly it is.
Can you imagine Shawn Michaels or Triple H booking Moose?
Oh my awesome. God, Moose was one of the people that I was surprised they've been able to keep him around as much because
when Roman Reigns comes back, could we get Moose versus Reigns?
I mean, that'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. that would be fun to see those two in the ring together.
I mean, look how well look how well they booked Keith Lee. It'd be a very similar booking style with a very big, strong, athletic person, and they did so much. They did great with Keith Lee, and then they sent him up to Vince and
then Vince, because he was great in NXT, man.
Absolutely,
God, it kills me when that shit happens. Damn it!
They put him in a tennis dress. They call him the Bearcat or the Big Cat or something. God,
it's retarded, man.
So bad and
typical Vince.
It was.
Yeah, and the thing was like Keith Lee didn't understand like the history of the Bearcat name, because of that wrestler way back when.
Right.
So like Vince should have known like, this wrestler is not comfortable with it. He's not going to perform it well.
Absolutely.
And he was already over. Like, stop fucking meddling. So he's gone now. But like, I think that the biggest thing that people are going to see is how Jordan Grace is booked. Okay?
Yeah.
Because it's going to show that this is not Vince McMahon's era, and Triple H and TKO, TKO especially, are open for business.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is good, though, because we need to open-minded, just be open-minded. That's what they need. And let the creativity flow. Don't be afraid to say, hey, let's do this.
Take a chance.
There's so many wrestlers that just like off the top of my head, like if I could imagine them getting to WWE, how their positions would improve. And my favorite female wrestler of all time is Rosemary.
Oh my God!
You kills me. Her in a WWE ring, working a slower style for a little bit.
Nick, I don't know how she never has been. I don't understand. Some wrestlers, I don't get. I don't get how they never made it up there, or maybe they never wanted to go up there because of how shitty it was for a while. I get that too.
I don't think they'd ever do it, but fucking Sami Callihan.
Wasn't he in NXT for a while?
I think he was with Kenny.
I mean,
right?
it was short-lived, but
it may have been, but it might have been, and it may have been also where remember Vince was starting to stick his nose in NXT for a while too,
and for me,
and it was like there were a lot of talent in NXT that was gone faster than it came because he was being a fucking nuisance. And just I don't know. I'm hoping this works out well. I really am, because it can open up some more stuff. And you're right about the ECW. I remember how that played out, but again, that was Vince being playing that too. And I feel like I don't think Triple H won. Now I don't know about AEW. I mean, I don't know how Triple H feels about them, but I don't think I think respectfully wants to work with certain other promotions. I really do. New Japan, TNA. What I think is funny is you got AEW, who will also work with TNA and New Japan, and then you got WWE, who's trying to work with both of them too now. So it's really hilarious to me that the biggest promotions, they won't work with each other, but they'll work with the others around each other. I think it's hilarious, And
the ECW thing was not just about working with each other. Vince had put those guys on his payroll right away, so it wasn't so much as a working relationship as him buying the talent that he wanted.
True. You're right.
And this is way more open and way more important as a working relationship, and not just I'm going to buy.
It's not
this
as predatory.
Right. Exactly. I'm not out to steal your shit. We're out to work with you. Although with Jordan Grace, I think they're going to steal her. But I do. I think they're going to put the snake on her when she's available. But we'll see.
What do we see going into SummerSlam?
Well,
we've got events coming up, because I think that we can go ahead and transition to our little summer preview and start with wrestling.
We've got Rhea Ripley is expected to be back around that time.
Okay. But I think the bigger thing is CM Punk is too. I was
gonna say,
I think CM. I think so. I think that's a possibility for him too.
And so was Drew shooting and just telling Priest straight to his face that he was a transitional champ? Is this how they go about getting the belt on Punk?
Could be.
It may be because
at SummerSlam, since they couldn't do it at Mania.
Yeah, and I feel like they want to put the belt on Punk anyway. I do. I feel like they do, and I'm okay with it, because I guess. But
here's the thing that you got to think about too. What's the next big four after fucking SummerSlam?
What you got? Survivor Series.
What have they done a lot of times at fucking Survivor Series in the past few years? The Raw champ versus the SmackDown champ.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
You go from fucking SummerSlam booking Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. If he goes over Damian Priest.
Yeah, I'm not so sure they're gonna take the belt off Damian Priest yet. I'm not so sure. Although I'd like him to, because I don't like him as champion. But
this sounds like the most money they can make to me. You you have Drew beat Damian Priest. Use all the Gaga you need to.
Use all the what?
Drew,
all the
all the nonsense, the Gaga.
Well, I think why you could be right, because especially at SummerSlam, and I just thought about this. They seem to be trying to create a rift in the Judgment Day, right?
Yeah.
And with Dom and Morgan, and all that shit, and him. Yeah. Now that he's the champion, he's pretty much took charge of the Judgment Day, and he's basically telling them, "I don't need you, you need me," and all this shit, So the rift is there. I mean, what if he pisses his own group off enough that they fucking cost him the title? Right. You know what I mean?
Yep. So however you do it, you got Drew CM Punk, which is a huge at SummerSlam.
Yep. Right.
You have Punk go over. You have matches with Punk and whoever you want, but what you're building to at Survivor Series is Punk Cody.
Yeah, because that
then I think around the Rumble is when Roman Reigns will probably be back.
Yeah, and you even could, because they're still not final on this. They brought back his merch and stuff. Brock is always lingering around. His merch.
That's true.
Back. He's not complete.
There's
good point.
I think Sean Ross Sapp might have been the one that reported that there are preliminary feelers out there and conditions that TKO and WWE do have a policy in place to bring back Brock Lesnar when they want.
That you can never, because of the nature of his contract, because of the nature of his star and whatever else, he's always there's always him if they need to go somewhere or want to change things up. You use Brock.
He's still a draw. He's still such a huge draw.
And here's the huge thing. TKO is managing the WWE case, and they've paused Janelle Grant's lawsuit in order for them to have a specific negotiating time to settle.
Mm-hmm.
The whole reason why Brock is persona non grata is because he's named in that lawsuit.
Exactly.
Right.
If that lawsuit gets settled, they're going to bury it, and they're just going to wait, and you got Brock back.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's
a good way.
Not as perfect as they're going to get it.
I mean, yeah. And, I mean, you go into this next Mania with Brock, Roman, Cody, Punk.
Huge.
I mean, I love fantasy booking. It's wonderful.
And then
I do too.
and something's supposed to be cooking with The Rock too for Mania again next year.
Right.
Well, I mean, I assumed that they were gonna have another big a civil war between the bloodline again, and
that's what I'm saying. I figure that fucking The Rock is probably gonna end up somehow being in charge of the Solo Sikoa bloodline.
Absolutely.
Could be.
And then you're gonna have Roman come back with the Usos.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, wouldn't that be some shit?
We still need to see what the fuck they're gonna do with Jacob Fatu.
Oh God, I've been chomping at the bit to see him come in because he's so good. He's
where is he under contract at right now? Is he in New Japan?
No, he's
MLW,
in WWE.
But he was in MLW, and now they've signed him to WWE. Yep.
Is he? Okay.
Just real quick, because you mentioned MLW, guess who is a new member of Contra Unit? Minoru Suzuki.
Oh,
really?
Shit.
Yes.
Wow.
So now you got that big motherfucker Mads Kruger and Minoru Suzuki in
that's
fucking
violent
awesome.
as violent gets, man. That's perfect.
Yeah.
It's awesome though. I gotta check that shit out, man. I gotta get that.
To put a bow on this, what do we see going forward for AEW? Because we're looking at Daniel Bryan's Brian Danielson's retirement.
Yeah, he's getting ready to be done. Yeah, he's getting ready to be done soon. Well, I don't think they're going to put another strap on him, but then but you never know. I do think right now it sounds like they're just trying to give him matches against anybody he wants to work with right now. I feel like it's like they can kind of name who he wants, and they go, okay,
yeah,
we'll get and AEW. One thing about AEW is storyline that doesn't matter.
No, that's exactly it. It's like. It's like they got chimps on typewriters fucking writing for them, right?
Yeah.
But then they're like, okay, hey chimps, this is what you're writing for though, and then they put the bangers on the fucking.
The matches in and of themselves are entertaining for the most part.
I
don't care about the match, but it's
it's still a good match. Yeah,
exactly. You put Brian Danielson in there with damn near anybody, and match quality through the roof. Oh
yeah, he's that good that he can definitely.
That Brian Danielson Will Ospreay match is moving up all time list for me.
Man.
I think it's top 10. I think it's a top.
I'm telling you, Will Ospreay is amazing. I don't care that guy, man. And I don't know. I'll give Danielson credit because I think Danielson makes everybody look good in my opinion.
For sure.
He does, but Ospreay is just he's fun. He's fun.
Yeah,
I just enjoy him, man. I get a.
It's always great to see two masters of their craft in the ring.
Yeah, where the fuck has he been at, dude? I mean, where has he been? Where did he come from? Where is he?
Japan,
what's his history? I mean, is that where he developed that in Japan? My God,
yep.
Because dude, to me he's come on like a fucking lightning bolt, and it's like, and I'm going, wow. That dude's been spending all his time in Japan. What the fuck? Why is he over there? You should bring him over here a long time ago. God, bring him home, man. Come on.
More money, less taxes.
That's yeah.
So, do we see Ospreay retiring Brian, or
if Brian, if Brian wants that guy to be it, then that'll be it. I mean, I think you kind of nailed it earlier when you said that he's getting basically the matches he wants, and he can kind of he can kind of call his shot. So if he wants it to be Moxley, if he wants it to
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
He did an interview just recently, just like praising the hell out of Moxley.
Yeah. He said there'll never be another John Moxley.
And like the thing is like everybody else that you hear talk about Moxley hates him.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird. It's a weird thing, man. They have a good relationship together, I think, because they both know what it was like to deal with WWE's bullshit, and I think they and it's like they've known each other for a long time.
People that you respect hate John Moxley.
And on the flip side of that,
I've heard that
all
too.
Of those guys, the flip side, all those guys, I've never heard a bad word about Danielson. On the flip side of that, it seems like everyone he gets along with, they like him as a person. He's chill, he's calm. But then you got Moxley, they think he's aloof, he doesn't care, he's this, he's that, he's lazy, he only likes to get blood. I mean, it's just he's an asshole to deal with. So, and that might have been to the Moxley that was drunk all the time. Who might have been, before he did rehab.
Compromised.
I was going to say there might have been. He was definitely had an alcohol problem. I know that, and they had to go away for a while to get that straightened out. But and I mean, Shawn Michaels back in the day when he was, especially when he had his drug problem, he was no picnic to be around for a long time either. It took him a while. To win people back.
For sure.
So. I mean, hell, Triple H pretty much cut him out of life. For a while,
He had no choice.
Yeah, absolutely. It took him a while before for him to want to even work with Shawn again.
I'm glad that most of the Click guys are still here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm honestly surprised we still have Kevin Shawn, and I'm talking about Walt. When I say Shawn, I mean Waltman.
Yeah.
He got hooked on shooting crystal meth for years.
Yeah, he was
not just smoking. He was
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he was shooting me.
Talk about a death wish.
There is a horrible story about him hanging himself in Houston or Mexico City, I think.
Mexico.
It was.
Yep, it was Mexico.
When he was with Ryan Shamrock, I believe.
Yeah, she saved his life.
And and like there's a shoot interview with him and Kevin Nash, and it is so emotional to see. Like Nash breaks down.
Well, he was in a bad spot.
What is that? Send me that, Nick, when you not now, just whenever you're thinking about it.
I'll find it.
He was in a really bad spot for a long time, man. Emotionally, he was fucked. He was, the drugs were just crushing his life, man.
Like and I guess like in this group with the four of us, I'm the outsider here. I grew up watching wrestling, but like I've not been the fan like to any extent that you guys have, right? But I watch just to be like one example, like that Dark Side of the Ring stuff, and I just feel like these wrestlers seem to be like the most honest, forthcoming, humble, and just kind of like just like the most human of all like the professional athletes that I see do any type of interview. Like they seem to be the most vulnerable people, and not like in a way that like shows weakness, but a way they've been like, look, I've been through this shit and I came out of it on the other side, and sometimes to more or lesser degree, but like they just seem to be like the most grounded
oh my god,
professional athletes that you'll ever encounter, man. And not that not encounter that you'll see just on camera.
Well, I think, and I could be wrong, but I've always attributed that to the fact that their entire lives, their entire working lives, in between work, traveling, people, they're working. They're not being themselves. They're being someone else.
Yeah.
They're putting on a show. They're putting on a front. So when they finally get to sit down with someone and let loose, they're like, dude, this is how it's actually been. Yeah. You see fake me on TV, pretend me, working me on TV, and everything looks good. Like Jake the Snake is a perfect example.
Yeah.
So, he's always got that work on, but then when he finally breaks down, he's like crack and this.
Well, dude, another like person who's very close to me had an alcohol addiction, right? And he is credited Jake the Snake as like a big part of helping him kind of like work through that. And again, and not a dude who's a wrestling person, like not at all. Again, just kind of like it was in the zeitgeist. You grew up a little bit before, probably more your guys' age than anything, but just that story. just did so much for him, and some he really connected.
DDP's got those stories, man. With those
guys. I saw that. I saw one of those things where he did with Butterbean.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he could.
I mean, this stand up.
Butterbean wants to fight again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's one of those things, you know. You see these things and you count your blessings. I'm like, you know, bitching about going to work or you know having to do this or that, and I'm like, motherfucker, you can stand up straight,
right?
You know, count your fucking blessings, right? Because he was in a bad way, and he got up and got moving, and that was really cool to see, man. I don't think that shit's corny at all. I think
I mean, DDP definitely saved Jake's life, man. Jake the Snake Roberts isn't here without DDP. He ain't here right now.
He gave us Scott Hall for a lot longer than we.
Yeah, he did. He would have absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Scott Hall would have been dead probably a lot sooner. I agree with you. I mean, it's just a when I've caught and Jake's been interviewed for some of the biographies that they've done. He's been ahead of that, and it's fun. It's fun seeing him talk because he is the most. It's the most honest I think I've ever seen him. Like he'll pull any punches, you know, and he'll just come out and say, "Yeah, guy was a fucking jerk," you know. But he'll talk about like he thought about Macho Man a little bit, and he said, he said Macho Man was a different kind of guy.
Yeah, so I let the cobra bite him.
Yeah, exactly. And he went into that story a bit where he talked about how Macho was like, so what are we gonna do with that snake there, you know? Jake's got to explain what they're gonna do.
Now imagine, I mean, I get it, but would Jake actually be out there handling a live cobra just for the fuck of it? Of course not. What kind of idiot would do that?
No, man, I wouldn't let him touch me with a garter snake, dude.
Of course they're gonna put the venom out. He's not gonna play around with the venomized fucking cobra.
I think the ultimate of this, and I think this can wrap up the wrestling portion, and then we can get into the other summer stuff like TV and movies and shit.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash, man, like I talk about him all the time. He's obviously my favorite wrestler, but like when he started the podcast, Scott had passed very recently. And then he goes, maybe 3 or 4 months?
Yeah, it was. I think it was less than 10 episodes. I know that much. Yeah. So 3 to 4 months. You know.
Yeah, 3 to 4 months, and his son passes tragically.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
And he fucking terrible. That's the thing, like you were talking about Sam, like the most honest and like down to earth, real people. He didn't skip an episode, man. He came right on and he fucking talked about it, and like it was like heart wrenching because like you felt so much for him, and it was just this dude, like of course, it's Kevin Nash, the pro wrestler, but it was just a dude pouring his heart out after something tragic happened to him. And it was,
no doubt.
It was crazy.
It is a lot of... he loses his best friend in the whole world, okay? And, I mean, those two guys changed the business, man, for a while. They really did. It was kind of crazy. 100%, so, together, they were pretty incredible. And then you got... then you go just when you're trying to get over that loss.
Yeah, and then all of a
sudden, to lose your, man, it's killer, dude.
A pain I don't ever want to wish on my worst enemy.
Same here, man.
Wish on my worst
enemy. I can't even imagine how credit to him for still being able to get himself up in the morning,
absolutely,
and go, because I don't know that I could. I don't know that I could.
He talked about these struggles.
Yeah, which is really cool too, because it's educational to listen to somebody. Inspirational, educational. Yeah, to listen to somebody tell you how he's getting through it, though, how he's doing, and you can, yeah, you're right. It's very inspirational, but it's also educational, and you get to learn. Yeah, ways to handle grief.
And if you ever saw this, he called us all corny bitches.
Yeah,
I know he would because we're
I'm pretty good friends with the guys that that run Kevin's podcast. Not so much Steve, the producer, but like Dominic D'Angelo and Wesley Burleson, who do his artwork and promotion and stuff. And you know, I've just been close with them for a couple of years. Guys. And when it comes to that podcast, I run their Discord, I do a lot of their marketing, I do a lot of stuff for them just because I like the guys, they're friends of mine, and I want to help them, go to the next level. And I can remember when I woke up and I read the news that day that Tristan had passed, I immediately messaged Dom. I said, Dom, check on Kev now. And I messaged Wesley and I was like, dude, call him. I don't care what you have to do. There's, and he's like, we are already on it, Dave. I promise, we're going to get through this. And most recently, I've kind of noticed that, Kev has been a little down again. So I reached out to Dom. And the next week, Kev came on the podcast and said it's been a hard time, and he appreciated checking up on him, but it's been a rough, it's been a rough go of it, and this is almost 2 years later, and that pain's not going to ever go away. No. Having spent so much time with Kev and having spent so much time around him, not just on the podcast but off the podcast, just chatting with him as a person, not as the performer, just Kev. You can tell when he's up, he's responding and laughing at things, and he's sending joke memes and stuff. When he's down, you don't hear from him for weeks, not even a reply in messaging. So I think he's pulling the nose up again, but it's been again a rough few episodes and a rough month. So he is so strong, and he's went through the ringer, man. And it's just. The best part of me jumping into this podcast and is I got to know Kevin. I got to know Kevin, not Kevin Nash, not Diesel.
Right. Like the real
Kevin. And
the real man.
Blessing. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome, actually. Yeah.
Go ahead, Russ. Sorry.
No, I was like, I'm saying it's pretty cool that he's able to get to that point in his life where he can be himself and not have to.
The other thing about that podcast is that Sean Oliver doesn't get enough credit.
True.
Because Sean is obviously friends with Kevin, and he can, kind of steer things and help things along because he does know Kevin, so that, they can have these impactful discussions. And, it's not like I'm quitting the next episode, nothing like that.
Yeah.
They go into deep water and just come out, right before they drown.
And you're right. That's all Sean Oliver. That's Sean knowing when to go a little further, when to reel him back, when to elicit a response, when to change the subject. He has impeccable timing, and it never fails. He knows exactly. He knows when he starts a question and Kev jumps in. He knows when to shut up. He knows when to bring it forward. I mean, he's the best I've ever seen do it. He really is.
Some of what I've seen of that, what I've seen of the show, and I've listened to the show, is that. They get into some shit sometimes, man.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow, he's talking about that right now. Oh my god, dude.
He does not give.
Now here's the thing. I don't know how much time you guys have, but I want to get into the summer shit.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it, bro. Let's do it.
It's always like all that, hey, we're gonna keep the bullshit to this time, and then
I tried, man.
We tried.
We're hard to reel in.
Yeah. Fucking deep waters. All right.
Sure.
So as far as movies for this summer, I picked a couple that I thought were interesting.
Yeah.
The first one was The Bike Riders. Have you guys seen anything about this?
Dude, I am so excited for this.
Okay, not me. I don't know anything about this one. What's this about?
Right. So it's Austin Butler and Tom Hardy. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, big thing here. If you're a fan,
right?
Jeff Nichols is a director. He directed movie called Take Shelter. He directed the movie Loving. He directed the movie Midnight Special. That had Adam Driver. So like, I don't know if any of them were what studio these all came out in, but they're all kind of indie films. Incredible. Watch them all. And just Google Jeff Nichols. He was responsible for one of my favorite movies ever called Shotgun Stories, which is kind of like almost a student film that he did. But all his movies have Michael Shannon in them, and he is probably one of my favorite actors of all time. He's in this movie too. I don't know to what extent, but just he's one of those people where like if you're a fan of a certain director or something like that, you can be like, okay, their name's attached to it. It's
right.
Yeah, this movie, like I bet my paycheck this is going to be a good movie. And again, take all that aside, the cast aside from that, you got Tom Hardy. Austin Butler's definitely a rising actor. I think
Jodie Comer.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a good movie.
Yeah, so the little blurb is after a chance encounter, headstrong Kathy is drawn to Benny, member of Midwestern Motorcycle Club, the Vandals.
Yeah, and I think it's all based on a true story, too.
Yeah. As the club transforms into a dangerous underworld of violence, Benny must choose between Kathy and his loyalty to the club. So, I'm really looking forward to this shit.
Yeah.
I'm
Norman
Hardy.
Reedus, too.
Sounds like it's going to be some Sons of Anarchy going on here.
Oh, dude, Boyd Holbrook?
Yeah.
Okay.
My goodness. All right.
He was in Logan. He was the villain in Logan. I think he was great in that movie. Yeah, Jeff Nichols. Look him up. Like if you're interested in this movie and you're like, okay, what am I going to do until it comes out? Watch some of his movies. He's incredible. He's a genius.
Oh, he did Mud too.
Mud, yeah. Again,
he was the writer on Mud. Sorry.
Yeah, that also has Michael Shannon again in a little bit part. But if you're gonna watch one, I think Mud's actually really good. But Shotgun Stories, man, it's about 90 minutes long. It's got Michael Shannon plus nobody you've ever heard of. That movie, it's incredible. It's like kind of like I don't know, it's like a modern Western, but just with fucking white kids in the middle of nowhere. It's a great movie.
I'm gonna check that out.
And then
highly recommend, dude. Like I'll eat my hat if you don't like it.
I'm on it.
And then the funny fucking one is going to be Deadpool and Wolverine.
That's
the trailer for that shit right before we can.
Yeah, that'll be
for that to do something, man.
I think that's going to be probably the hit of the summer, dude. I think that's going to be the big hit of the summer.
I don't even think it has to try. I think no matter how bad a movie it is.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like I'm looking at the IMDb right now.
Yeah.
Like there's people that have been added to this that I didn't know were coming back. Like fucking Ray Park's coming back as the Toad.
Yeah.
Fucking Azazel's gonna be in it.
Azazel, yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's in one of you can see him in one of the trailers, man. It's
Pyro.
You could see Pyro, Azazel, Toad. You can see I forget who. They're right in front of that Paul Rudd. That's Ant-Man.
Yeah,
like they're all on either side. So
or whatever.
Yeah, they're all in front of that.
And the thing is these are just all the shits that we know that they let out. That you know, they've got some shit held back. You know,
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. And you know, it'll be, I'm sure, hilarious as usual. Vulgar, great. You know, that's Deadpool, so it'll be fun. You know, I know. I'm telling you now, my wife. That's her favorite soup. That's her. What she like to say? It's my favorite. Not a superhero.
It's not a superhero story. It's a love story.
Exactly. She fucking loves Deadpool, man. That's her thing, man. So I don't know. I told her, I said, well, looks like we're going to the theater for that one.
$1 billion movie. For me, for sure. If I were to pick one that was going to make $1 billion this summer, there's no other choice than that one. I believe it. It could, it could really, depending on what they include in the MCU, it could be the kick in the nuts that MCU needs to get back on track to.
It could be. It might be the one that you might be right about that. It could be the one that's going to stimulate some groove in the movies there. You know. And
let's be honest, Hugh Jackman's back as Wolverine.
Which is a huge thing because a lot of people wanted to see that, you know.
Absolutely.
He's gonna be actually wearing a Wolverine suit too. You gotta love that.
Man, I wanted it to be the yellow and brown shit.
I know, me too.
That's my
me too. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I do hope that after this we are kind of like done with the old movie cameo stuff.
Okay.
I think that needs to be put to bed.
I think that you're going to be really disappointed, man, because they're saying that the next fucking Avengers movie they're leading into Secret War, and they just released an article saying that there's going to be 60 fucking MCU characters in the next Avengers movie.
Crazy. Which is really wild, man.
That's tough, man. But I do feel like the reach back cameo thing is. I feel like that's a crutch at this point, and
it's got a shelf life.
Sam, Sam, you might, I kind of agree with you on that, Sam. But I will tell you this: for this movie, Ryan Reynolds has wanted to work with him, with Hugh Jackman, and he would. I mean, I don't think Hugh Jackman would have done it if Ryan Reynolds hadn't really asked him to do it. I really
like speaks to the quality of this, like
because
around unless it's really something worth coming back for.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I mean.
Like fucking action comedies like this, when they are a franchise, they always fuck off in the third one.
They do, and but then in this case, they might fuck off to a point where it might be a good fuck off. It might be pretty.
I mean, this is like, again, to go back to chimpanzees. It's like a chimpanzee throwing shit at the wall and seeing what's gonna stick.
But see, you know why you can get away with that with Deadpool? Because it's fucking Deadpool. Yeah. And Deadpool is Deadpool's warped and nuts.
Say that,
Yeah, he's
chimpanzees
and it's silly shit. Deadpool's silly as shit,
And let's be really honest here. Besides Tom Hiddleston, Ryan Reynolds probably has the most sex appeal of any star for a female audience in the Marvel universe.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, come on, man. Of course.
I mean, so like that's the thing is this is a project that like reaches across aisles and
for sure.
Everybody.
The only other one that I can think that's close is Hemsworth.
Probably, because Anna will tell you she's always telling me how much she wants to fuck for.
People who don't know that they like, or people who don't like comic books and don't read comics like Deadpool. It's because
that's
right.
The other side of the coin.
He's crass, he's irreverent, he's everything that like a middle school kid loves to be. You know
exactly.
I think
Deadpool is a big gateway character.
But then this also it's rated R, so they're limiting their audience a bit. But I don't.
Yeah, but the last two each made $1 billion, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think Joker also again made what it made, and that was rated R, and does not have this kind of like I could see.
It doesn't have the crossover
12
appeal.
Yeah, and I could see you sneaking your 12, 13-year-old into this to go see it, or not sneaking them in, but just being like, we know what, we're gonna go do this and take the risk. I don't see that for a movie like Joker, so I think this will do really well, hopefully, and also be good, hopefully.
I agree.
The next one that I was let me see if I can share this. But Alien Romulus.
Yeah, I saw that trailer.
Yeah. Yep.
Looks good, man.
I can't.
Looks good. Not like a super big fan of Alien or anything, but man, this looks good.
Like this. Here we go. This shit right here is key. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Russ,
I'm not.
I do.
Alien franchise. But I'll watch. There's still.
I like the Alien movies better now than I did some time back. The original first one I liked, right, with Sigourney Weaver and everything.
Sure.
I liked that one. But when they kept doing them, going down the road, Alien 2, Alien 3, I was just like, I lost my like of them.
Aliens.
Yeah, Aliens.
A lot considered the best one.
Really good.
True.
Who did that? Was that
Cameron?
That was James Cameron. Well, he did the first two then, right?
He did the first one, didn't he? Because
who did? So who did
the first? He did number 2. Ridley Scott did number 1.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So James Cameron did 2. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with what you said.
For sure. No, same.
But like that.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Like, and again, like the other thing to think about with this shit, who owns Alien now?
I don't know. I don't know who owns the rights to it. I'm not sure.
Disney.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that. No shit.
They own Alien and Predator now because of the Fox sale.
I didn't even think about that. That's a good. So Fox had them. Okay,
that's why Prey was a Hulu exclusive movie.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Prey was fucking awesome, but
Prey was really good. Mm-hmm. They got Prey 2 coming out as well, so that's gonna be.
Planet of the Apes movie. I was like, that's just okay, and I was like, I left there. I was like, fucking Disney. That's their fault. There's a lot of reasons I think that was the case, but I did think of that. I was like, oh yeah, it's fucking Disney. Fucking Disney.
I forgot about that.
Salty, but
now, Disney picked up a lot more than just the X-Men franchise with that Fox deal.
I guess so. All I was focused on was the whole X-Men shit.
I hope that what they did with Prey, because Prey was done before that happened, and I think all they had to do was figure out a way to put it out. Mm-hmm. But I do hope that idea of just throw the Predator into this time and in this location, that shit's fun.
Yeah. Well, it is.
It's just stupid easy money, and I hope that they keep doing that.
But I just love the fucking idea. They come to Earth to hunt, and they've been doing it for years, right?
Yep.
It's great.
I think it was Cinemark that reported there's a rumor of an Alien Prey version. Okay, and it's supposed to be like a pack of xenomorphs loose in Aztec, Mexico.
Oh shit, that'd be fun.
Dude, that'd be cool, man.
I'd check that out for sure.
Yeah. So like they were gonna film it like that fucking Mel Gibson movie, supposedly.
Apocalypto.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dude, that movie's fucking hard, man. Another movie, hard recommend. Watch that movie; it's good.
Now I think
Gibson's
this
fucking insane. That dude's a great filmmaker.
Fucking South Park nailed it.
Yeah, like he's doing so. He's a genius.
They were like, "Fuck if the guy's a racist, but he knows fucking story."
That's true. Yeah. Yep.
He's but that dude can make
it's very true.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, something for like us '90s babies that I think is probably one of the most controversial movies of the fucking summer. Coming out on August 23rd. Bill Skarsgård in The Crow.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild, dude. Well, I mean,
fuck that. It's nothing sacred. Is nothing fucking sacred.
Yeah.
Why? No. There's money to be made.
Come on, that corpse has already been trampled on. They made how many sequels and how
that's true.
All direct video.
Yeah.
Well, actually, sorry, City of Angels had a limited run.
Yeah, City of Angels had a limited run. That's true. Yep. Yeah, didn't stand very long, but
like thought to that always and is always like that. The original one's still there. So and that's like I always look at that with Ninja Turtles movies. Like
but
first one they came out so good, and then all the other ones are goofy. But
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting because I like the Crow, but they needed to revamp it and redo it, and I was wondering who they were gonna get to do it again. To play the role, and Skarsgård's okay. I'm not hating it. I'm not hating it. Yeah.
I've never read a Crow.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I can't speak.
I mean, this is an interesting role for him to take on, and I kind of
a huge Crow fan. And I wish he was here to tell us like how he felt about it. But I've read some of the IDW like collected shits of James O'Barr stuff, and from what I'm seeing,
is it good, Nick? Is it worth reading?
No.
Oh, damn.
It's a product. It's a product of its time.
Yeah.
It's like trying to go back and reading Dawn.
That's the thing because because like if you didn't read it then, and it doesn't hit that like kind of like nostalgia spot with you, you can't go back and do it. Yeah. I'm trying to think of things.
Yeah, the original Crow was 94 or 5 or somewhere in there, right? So 94. I was like 17 when it came out, and I absolutely loved it. I was hooked on that movie. I just absolutely loved it. the fact, I don't hate that they're redoing it. It's just I hate that they're redoing it. It's kind of one of those deals.
I hear you though, because there's a thing there. It's like, leave it alone, and the version you like is good enough, and I guess it's normal.
It is now. I should be more used to it than I am. It's for just there's a select few movies that are like that are just so near and dear to my childhood, my teenage years, and it's like I remember how I felt in that moment, and I'm not going to get that again. I'm going to judge it before I even see it, and it could be a movie that's 10 times better. It really could, and I'm just not giving it its due. I'm prejudging it, and I shouldn't do that. I know better than that. I've been proven wrong too many times by remakes of movies that have been. If they remake The Princess Bride, I'm quitting watching movies for good. That's it. Game over. I'm done.
But you got to draw the line somewhere, man.
There has to be.
Who was the actor that played the main villain in The Crow?
I don't remember his name.
I don't remember either. But he was in a fucking Alfred Hitchcock movie that was about fucking Psycho, and he played Ed Gein. And he was fucking amazing.
Ed Gein. Yeah, let me look that up, bro.
Michael Wincott?
Michael Wincott. Yep.
Nice.
I just Googled Crow, and it's like it's talking about like the bird. Ed Gein, what a fucking psychopath, dude.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah, careful if you go up to Wisconsin, man.
It's awesome there, man.
Oh god, and that's right. He was Gaia Gisborne in the fucking in Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
And Rochefort in the Three Musketeers. That dude had a run.
He sure did.
It was just called Hitchcock.
Mm.
And he played Ed Gein, and Anthony Hopkins played.
What movie was that?
It was called Hitchcock.
Was it about like
It was about the making of Psycho, basically.
And Ed Gein was in it?
Yeah, because
he was found out in the 50s, right?
Yeah.
So that
but like Ed Gein,
Ed
Gein was one of the fucking inspirations for Norman.
Yeah, so that would have been in the zeitgeist, I guess.
Yeah.
Wincott was in Strange Days.
Ed Gein definitely was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ed Gein like made a suit of people like to look like his mom. Yeah, Ed Gein
fucking
was,
human skin lampshades.
Yeah, that's like the least disturbing thing is like he made like a suit to wear. Like, it was like made of people's like bodies.
Jeez,
that's why.
So,
he's been the inspiration for so many fucking serial killers on film. Like Buffalo Bill is.
Yeah.
Would you fuck me?
I'd fuck me.
I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me hard.
Oh, brother! Happy Pride Month, guys.
He's wearing his fucking jacket made of skin. Gross motherfucker.
Damn, man.
Tucking his penis between his legs. Wonderful.
Yo, I love when they fucking had Jay do that shit in Clerks too.
Oh yeah. That wasn't creepy at all. Jesus.
That was fucking crazy ass shit, man.
Oh man, but yeah, that Hitchcock movie is a good watch, and I forget what. There's a BBC Hitchcock film with, I believe, Scarlett Johansson in it, and it's not Toby Hooper, but it's Toby someone. He's a British actor, and he plays Hitchcock in that one, and that is excellent.
How old is it?
Fuck. It's way before Avengers, man.
Okay. No.
Jesus. Hitchcock movie. Toby. Oh, it was a BBC shit.
The one with Scarlett Johansson, I see. This has got Jessica Biel as well. Helen Mirren. I'm not seeing any Toby. I see a Tony.
Okay, all right. Tony
Collette.
No. Let me see. Sorry, guys.
It's great radio.
Oh,
oh man.
So even still, there's a lot of there's a lot of good stuff coming up this summer.
Yeah.
That.
The next thing I wanted to talk about as far as movies going was Horizon: An American Saga, which is Kevin Costner doing a sprawling western again.
Yeah. I've seen.
This one is importantly like chapter 1.
Yeah, because both chapters are coming out this year.
Yeah.
So the second chapter comes out like sometime in the fall. And the thing is like he put up his own money for this shit, and they're saying that like the opening is looking not good for him, and it's gonna pull like $12 million in the opening, and that's it. And they expect a steep fall off.
Oh. Yeah, that's a bummer, man. And it's I don't know if he made Dance with Wolves.
Yeah.
And that movie's that's one of my favorite movies, man. It's really good. And I don't know. I'll watch this at some point. I won't see this in theaters. I heard it's like super fucking long, but I'll probably watch it on streaming.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Nick, you talk about the box office, man. I was reading this thing and they said like it got like a so many minute standing ovation at Cannes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like in the article, it was based like went on to say that like every movie that was at Cannes got a many minutes, 5, 6, 7 minute standing ovation just because like the people who are there to see it are interested in it and are more, likely to do that, right? So
So it's
people are like, I'm at Cannes and Kevin Costner is the movie. I want to see this. Like, so it's not a metric with Yellowstone. I think it's not a metric to gauge whether it's going to be good or not, right?
Right.
Like we've had a few good westerns recently, a few, but like. Back in the day, like from the 30s up until the early 90s, westerns were a huge genre for cinema, and we just see nothing.
I think that
like the gangster genre, like kind of replaced it.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I think the more recent ones, you almost have to look like. So I think a two good examples, both written by Taylor Sheridan. Who someone mentioned Yellowstone. Sicario, I think is a great Western movie, even though it's not like in the traditional like set in the 18 whatevers in New Mexico or whatever. And a movie called Hell or High Water.
Hell or High Water is really good. I like the High Water. I was that.
Chris Pine, Jeff Bridges, and I forget the other dude, but that movie. Again, I'll eat my hat if you watch that movie and you don't like it.
Yeah, you'll like that hat. I mean,
are y'all Kurt Russell fans?
I am. Yeah, I am.
Have you ever watched a little film called Bone Tomahawk?
No.
I just want to know it's one I haven't seen. No. I'm gonna go look for it now. If he's in it, I'll go look for it.
The cast is amazing.
Yeah.
Fucking Night Owl from Watchmen.
Yeah, fuck. I don't know what that dude's name is, but
is that Billy Crudup?
No, he was Dr. Manhattan. Also a really good actor. But yeah, the dude that played King Orm.
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, he's great. He's great, man. He's
Patrick
one of
Wilson's
he's
in it.
Everything, man.
David Duchovny. Not David Duchovny. Not David Duchovny. David Arquette. David Arquette.
Oh, David Arquette. Okay. All right.
Richard Jenkins. Matthew Fox.
You got me excited with David Duchovny, man.
Sorry, man. But it's one of Sid Haig's last movies.
Oh shit! Okay.
Like this movie is nuts.
Yeah, I feel like the Western thing. It's tough because I do feel like a lot of them don't present themselves like traditional Westerns like that. Sicarios is I don't know when that takes place, but it's I mean it deals like FBI agents and cartels and shit, which is like in the genre. And then Hell or High Water is like it's called a neo-western, right? Like it takes. I think that movie came out in 2015 and takes place in 2015, but it's
more modern.
It's but it's of
modern
a piece. The themes are
talking
the same.
about sorry.
No, that was it. I'm done.
Oh, I was just saying, like, talking about, like, blending of genres. Like, Westerns are American samurai movies.
Oh, my God. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yep, for sure. Definitely.
Then, like, we talk about the proliferation of samurai movies, and that's the birth of Star Wars. That in 1930 serials.
There are so many good, I'm just looking at my fucking bookshelf back here, stories that involve like conflict between like Native Americans in the U.S. Army and like the fucking Texas Rangers, guys who were just like, if you ever been to like Fort Hays, Kansas, like the guy that's named after Jack Coffee Hayes his middle name was Coffee. Like it's like there's just so many fucking characters that like are just untouched in cinema, man. And it's like, if you're a Joe Rogan fan, you've probably this guy S.C. Gwynn wrote this book, Empire of the Summer Moon.
So did you finally read that?
Me?
Yeah.
I've read that book 4 times. That's one of my
because like I had read it like back in the day, and that was like the first book recommendation I had made to you.
Yeah, this
I love that book.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to find the photo.
History wall.
Yeah, that's no. Where's that's oh god, there. So that's Quanah Parker right there. You can't see where my finger's pointing, but the guy who that book's like kind of set around. Yeah, I mean that book. My dad put me onto that like way back when. I've read that book multiple times, listened to it twice. Like it's but yeah, like those are the types of stories, man. Like nobody knows who Quanah Parker is. Yeah. People know who Sitting Bull is, and nobody also knows who Red Cloud is, right? It's like these are people these are characters in history that have just these incredible stories and importantly have agency and they weren't just victims of American power or whatever you want to call it. Like like Red Cloud fought to the point where the U.S. Army had to sue for peace, and like these are just incredible stories that people just don't know, and like film would be a great way to put these out to people.
Absolutely.
Man. And when are we gonna get a good Crazy Horse movie?
and he's a tough one because there's not much known about him. I mean, I read a book last year, the Killing a Crazy Horse, which I mean, the book basically talks about that. There's not a photograph of him. Yeah, there's not a photograph of him that exists, and he was kind of a piece and just kind of marched to the beat of his own drum, and yeah, again, there's like people like that. There's like there's not much known about him, but yeah, I mean, like when you talk about the Westerns, I'm like, there's just so much untapped knowledge there, or untapped history there that I think would just make great television, great films, and yeah,
for sure, a lot of potential there.
Yeah, I mean, it is still a period of American history that like the world is inspired by.
Yeah, for sure,
sure. Every country has made a Western.
Yeah. Spaghetti westerns.
Spaghetti westerns. All the Italian directors that have put together westerns.
It's funny, man. There's in the Caucasus region of Russia, there's this guy, Imam Shamil, who was like the Sitting Bull of Russia, right? So he was like a leader of like these Muslim tribes and everything, and it's like if you like, his image is banned in a lot of parts of Russia because it's seen as what it is. It's like he's a symbol of defiance against it. At the time would have been Tsarist Russia, but now it's kind of translates. But it's the same thing with people like Red Cloud, Sitting Bull, where it's like they're like these symbols of. But again, if you're in America, you can do those things without fear of like legal repercussions. So it's like, but yeah, it's just like those stories, man. It's like who's doing that? Who's doing that well? And it's nobody, man. It's nobody.
Yeah. Moving on to TV.
Yeah, TV is getting good, be interesting.
Yo, I did not know about this show that I want to talk about until the final started, and it's called Clipped. And it's fucking Hulu doing the Donald Sterling.
That's
story.
right. Yes, they are.
Like I saw a fucking Lawrence Fishburne on there.
Yep,
I didn't know who he was playing.
He's playing Doc.
Fucking Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers. Sure enough. It looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah,
it's
Hulu, man.
They're coming out.
It's FX too.
Yeah, they said apparently too. Is
this Hulu or FX, or is it just like?
It's Hulu production that's gonna be on.
They're on fire, dude. They put out Shogun recently.
Shogun's really good.
They're still doing the Bear, which is about to drop in next week. Or week after next,
They're going to.
Oh, that's the other one. Ed O'Neill is going to be Donald Sterling.
Yeah,
which is going to fucking crack me up if he has to say all that racist shit.
Yeah. It's apparently it's going to be like based off of witness accounts and everything, and the tapes and also people that have heard him say things, and shit. Then at other times, it's gonna be wild, dude. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna get into that. I gotta. That was such a wild time, man, because I never thought I would see a league sanction an owner the way they did, but they had to, dude.
Yeah,
he was really bad. Yeah, but he had no shame either, though.
And he was on.
Tape. And he was on tape. Yeah, but
so rich.
And it was a sex worker that taped him.
Yeah, it was really bad.
He was sent to the games.
Yeah, he was. It was crazy, man. That dude was off his rocker. It was
so old and so rich, man. Like you said. So
old.
And at that point, it's like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck.
Yo,
absolutely.
Because I don't know how it spun out in the hangout the other night. Like we were talking about this show and like Donald Sterling and shit, and I turned on the fucking Boondocks. And we watched the fucking Booty Warrior, and that was fucking hilarious.
Show. Oh my god, those fucking cartoons are crazy.
I started.
There's a couple Star Wars.
Yeah, I started watching the first 2 episodes of Acolyte.
Yeah.
And it's.
Is it good? Is the first? Because I've not watched it yet, but I intend to. So.
I'm liking it. It's an interesting story. They're kind of. It's a slow burn right now for me a little bit, and I'm like, dude, I ain't got that many episodes. Come on, move on quickly.
Yeah,
but
6 episodes, right? It's short.
It's only gonna be 6 episodes.
6. Okay, 6. I thought it was 8.
Sorry, I think it's 8. And you have 6 more to go.
But they're gonna be hour long, right? They're gonna be of substance.
Yeah. These first 2 were about maybe 35, 40 minutes.
That's fair.
How spoilery do we want to fucking get?
I don't. It doesn't matter to me. We can get into it. I mean,
nobody watches this fucking show anyway.
I can't give any real good opinions on it without getting spoilery because
that's the thing. Like this show is kind of milquetoast.
That's goddamn Nick. That's a really good way of putting it. I didn't think about that. That is a good way of putting it.
The thing is like I don't want to steal anybody else's thunder about the way they talked about it, but some people got me thinking about this shit in a way.
Yeah,
because there's shit that Jedi should not be fucking doing in this fucking show.
I've seen the clips of that part. Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about.
There's shit Jedi shouldn't be doing. There's shit that doesn't make sense when you fucking talk about Sith lore.
Yes, true. But okay. What do we know from what we've seen of Star Wars about Jedi, right? They some primary things we know about them. They have lightsabers. We know they train very hard in using this weapon, right? But one thing Jedi are not known for really is hand-to-hand combat. They're not really known for it. I mean, and we don't know if they can do it or not, but they're not known for it. I guess it does depend on the Jedi.
Yeah.
But
They have a full discipline, to Moses.
I get
just to
that.
Russ's point, sorry to cut you off, man. Just to
Russ's point, you're good.
It's not like that form or that style has been highly promoted over all the shows.
Right, exactly.
It's not something that they accentuate.
Yes.
As being it.
Okay, we'll know about it because we're nerds and we're into Star Wars.
Absolutely.
But the layman isn't gonna know that about Jedi.
Right.
Yeah. What the layman's gonna know is they have cool laser swords and they like to bring that laser sword out and deflect lasers with it and fight each other with them, and they use the Force, to make shit fly and stuff like that. That's what they know about it. This show has got Jedi doing some shit that I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yo, let's be fucking honest. This period of what they're calling this is the High Republic.
Yeah.
I guess this is the tail end of it where the fall of the Jedi starts. Okay.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
Yeah.
But it's still supposed to be there's thousands of Jedi. They are at the height of their power. They have the most powerful Grandmaster that's ever been in the history of the Jedi in Yoda.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like,
but did you notice there is something about Go ahead. Somebody's gonna say
Carrie Ann Moss.
Yeah.
Is supposed to be a Master Jedi.
Right. And she spoiler alert, she gets killed in the first episode.
Yeah.
And it's who she gets killed by. That's my problem. She gets killed by someone who shouldn't have been able to kill her. I'm sorry. You can't. I mean, you can't have, especially the way she did it. You can't have a Jedi master die like that. You can't. It irked the fuck out of me when I watched it. It did. I ain't gonna lie. They're breaking rules.
She had to have been the stupidest fucking Jedi master that ever fucking lived.
Yes, but that's what I mean. That's why it makes no sense.
And that's breaking. Like they're supposed to be at the fucking height of their power.
Yes, right.
And a Grand Master at that. I mean, come on.
Right, and this master.
And we're not going to see Yoda.
Well, no, I heard. We're not going to see Yoda. I thought Yoda was going to make an appearance.
Is not supposed to be in this.
Really? Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, which is kind of silly because if he is alive, right down his time, so he's it's like 700 and something years old, I guess, or
yeah.
So
and like the thing, let's fucking kill it then. Fucking A. They have a Jedi kill himself.
No.
They have a Jedi.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, because here's the thing. They have a Jedi get not only does he kill himself, but he gets guilted into killing himself.
Yeah.
That's what's really weird, right? And Jedi, that goes against Jedi altogether.
100% agree.
Jedi are not.
Supposedly, to go a little deeper on it, supposedly this guy has been, meditating on this thing for
decade. A long time, right? Yeah.
And he's a master. He's a Jedi master again.
Uh-huh.
Because they made the point to say that there were 3 Jedi masters on the planet.
Yes.
And so again, thank you to whoever brought it up. I forget in the chat who it was, but the actor for Master Tovin was the same actor that played fucking Tommen in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So he's got a little reputation now.
Yeah, for playing the suicidal. Yeah, playing suicidal characters.
But yeah, like a Jedi does not commit suicide.
No, they don't. It goes against everything.
Yeah.
And this is my son said this to me when I had a problem with that scene. He goes, what about Obi-Wan Kenobi? He basically, I said, no. I had to correct our Jesse. He did not commit suicide. He gave himself to the Force. That's different.
Did you ground him after that?
Yeah. Well, I told him. I said, get it right.
But like, here's the thing: Obi-Wan went out.
Fucking go to your room and think about it.
The Jedi are all about leaving attachment behind and leaving guilt behind.
Right.
And being in the moment.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So like the thing with Obi-Wan was he was in the moment, he was sacrificing himself for others.
Okay? Yeah, sacrifice is different.
That's different.
But you see what he did? He disappeared. Before Yoda could really, before Vader could swipe him.
He wasn't going to beat Vader.
Yeah, he wasn't. He wasn't going to beat Vader.
So he was just taking up as much time as he
could. It was a distraction thing, right? Yeah, but that's what you're saying.
Just like Luke did.
Yeah, what you're saying basically is if a Jedi gives his life to save other lives, that's not suicide. That's a Jedi doing what they do, right? A sacrifice. Yeah. So you're right, and I had to kind of correct him on it too. And I said, plus I told him, I said, he fucking stops. He puts his fucking lightsaber up and closes his eyes. I said, Vader swipes. He has nothing but clothes, dude. And that dude's gone, man. He took off, gone.
But like with this, like. Gort brought up the point that it was like a Jedi committing seppuku, like a samurai.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's not what they're known for, though. They're not going to do that.
And that was the point. Like, like the Jedi are supposed to be above that kind of shit.
Right, exactly.
And so, like, whatever the fuck happened on this planet to orphan these two girls and kill their family, better had been like
pretty fucking major,
galaxy shaking.
Yeah, because it seems like they're just be having a shame or guilt that's sure gonna. Maybe that Jedi Master was directly responsible. I don't know. I'm not sure.
You're not supposed to love or care for anything. You're supposed to have a certain level of detachment.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to care that much about any one thing where you'll compromise yourself.
Right, and that's the whole idea, principle behind. Because why? Because attachment leads to the all the other feelings and all that. Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So that's what's driving me. And it's I'm don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on the show terribly. I actually like it, but there are things in it that have got me going. Why are you changing the rules, Disney? What are you doing? You're fucking things up here,
Yep, exactly what you're saying.
You can't do that.
What ends up happening is with this show, like you enjoy it while you're watching it,
right?
Because your brain shut off for a little bit because it's pretty, and it
is. It's, yes, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
but then after you're done watching the pretty pictures and fast motion and your brain starts to kick in, that's where the dissatisfaction with this show comes.
Yep. And I mean, there's just things I couldn't. After I got done watching both the episodes, I couldn't wrap my head around some things that I watched. In fact, I watched both episodes twice. Just to make sure, and when I watched the second time, it was even worse because I caught things. So I was like, "The fuck," And I just it really bogged. I mean, well, fuck, we're gonna spoil it all anyway. Let's go for it. So we got two girls. They're twins. Okay, they're twins. One was supposed to have died in a fire when they were little girls. Okay, when they were like 8 years old, I guess, and the other one that survived was taken to the temple to be beginner training as a Jedi. Mm-hmm. There was a big hoopla because of how old she was. She had masters say, "Okay, we're gonna break the rules for you. Okay, go ahead." Well, she didn't do so great as a Jedi. I don't know if she washed out, but she said, "Fuck this, I'm out of here," and she quit the Jedi Order when she got to be a little older. Okay, so she leaves. She's a mech on working for the Trade Federation. So basically, instead of droids, she goes out in a suit on ships to do repairs on their ships outside in space. Yeah, it's like kind of crazy actually, but it's supposed to be illegal to do it. But it's the Trade Federation. They're always breaking the law. Fuck them. They don't care. They're like, we don't do nothing wrong. But meanwhile, this is just her life she's living now. And meanwhile, a girl looks just like her, goes into a bar and picks a fight with a Jedi Master. Yeah. And they have a great fight. Too good of a fight, in my opinion. The Jedi Master should have killed her ass. Should have killed her way before it.
Absolutely.
I don't even think it should have lasted that long. how she ends up beating her, she goes to kill the bartender with one of her like little daggers, and the Jedi Master stops the dagger from hitting him. And while she's distracted with that, she hits her and gets her in the heart with a dagger. With throwing one of her little daggers at her, and okay, lame as fuck.
And the fucking master is played by Carrie-Anne Moss, so they fucking had all of in the fucking promos and shit, and they kill her in the first fucking episode.
Not only the first episode,
in the first beginning, fucking scene.
Yes, the first scene of the first episode, they pulled a scream on us. What they did, they killed a pretty big star right off the bat,
Russ.
And I'm like, you motherfuckers, why'd you do that for? I'm having like scream flashbacks and shit. I'm like, no, not the hot one, no. Okay, it's so bad, but
hey, yeah, one sec, guys. I'll be right back in just a minute.
So basically, when it goes down that way, I'm just kind of like, okay, that was a complete waste. A decent actress, and they just blew her out, gone. And the bartender, right? He goes tells the Jedi he can identify her and all that, and They think the description of them to them fits this former Jedi. They go looking for her, and tell me when those two showed up to get her, when she's like, hey, you made night, all right, and all that, she's like all chummy with him, and he's all like stiff and.
But that character doesn't change throughout the entire 2 episodes. He's a stiff dick. Already everybody's like, okay, Secret Sith right there.
Yeah. He sounds like he could be, right? Because he's just acting like it's like you're way overacting the Jedi part here, But I like when she says to him, when they're talking, and it's like, clearly they knew each other. They were both Padawans, obviously, and it's like, the questions they're asking her, they already know the answers to. It was just dumb. It was all like played out like to make the Jedi look like they're conducting an official investigation. It's like, come on, man. There's a lot of things that bothered me. It drove me crazy about the whole thing.
But like I said, like you didn't think about it till after, right?
No, right. That's exactly when it hit me. It was after, and then when I watched it the second time, I was a little more critical. Again, and I caught things quicker. Before they all ended, and I'm like, what the fuck, And it's there just are some things that are I can't wrap my head around it. I can't, man. It's a fucking how in the hell, But whatever. I've killed it enough now.
There's some other TV shit coming out that we need to talk about.
Absolutely.
Season 4.
Yes, that's when July, right? Or it's June. It's June.
June.
Yeah, it's June. It's like coming up soon.
June 13th.
Yes, June 13th. So that's coming up soon. Yeah. Hell yeah. Season 2, baby. We're going to be,
Season 4, brother.
Oh, season 4. I said season 2, didn't I? Season 4. Yep, season 4. Yep, you're right. I'm excited. I'm sorry. I'm thrown off by this fucking acolyte, man. It's throwing me off. I'm all wired and twisted now, man. Well, I like, whatever. Anyway, the boys is gonna be awesome.
There's supposed to be new members to the 7.
Yes, and
supposedly Black Noir is back. As well, whatever they do.
Well, if they follow the comics, but I don't want
to. At this point, it makes sense now. Like if you've read the comics, I'm not gonna spoil it for people because
just in case they do follow the comic book.
Way too popular.
Yeah,
but it backdoors to the comic end.
It kind of does a little bit. This is a way they can get there, for sure. It looks like it's going to be pretty awesome. There's like the butcher is going to be like I don't know. There was one scene where he's sitting there having a conversation with who's a fucking actor? God damn it.
Carler. Oh, fucking Anthony Starr, Homelander.
Yeah. and it looks like it's gonna be. I don't know, man. I've been looking forward to this fucking show for a while now.
So basically, the plot synopsis is that Butcher and Homelander are basically going to be in a custody battle for the kid.
Right.
And like, there's new members of the Seven coming in, and there's a virus that's coming out of Generation V that's supposed to figure heavily into the season.
Yeah, where it's a virus that kills soups, which is kind of exciting, But see, I mean, they've tried a lot of ways to kill soups. Yeah. They haven't tried the biological way yet. Here we go. Let's do some of that Iraqi shit. Let's go for it.
God damn it, Russ.
Iraqi shit? Wait, what?
God damn.
I don't even understand it.
Yeah. Germ warfare. Maybe it's a Chinese more.
No, they definitely did that against the Iranians. They were like
chemical warfare. Yeah,
they both did it. The Iranians and
they
Iraqis.
both did it to each other.
Saddam Hussein was known for
that's like one of the most brutal wars of the.
What the fuck? I was gone for 5 minutes, guys. Where did Star Wars go?
And then we're like, let's go. Let's talk about the Iran, Iraq.
We
late 70s days. This is where this goes.
Yeah, we moved on to the boys now, and I guess I accuse the Iraqis of using germ warfare when it was really chemical warfare. It'd be more like the Chinese then. They use germ warfare.
All right. God damn it, Russ.
Put the flag back up across the bottom.
Moving on. Moving on. House of the Dragon.
I was just going to say, if you don't mind if I bring up, it was going to be House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
That's definitely another one coming up. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I really enjoyed the first season.
So did I.
I enjoyed it more than any season of Game of Thrones.
That's a bold statement.
Matt Smith was amazing.
Matt Smith
both actresses that played Rhaenyra.
I think they did a good job. Yeah.
The second actress that plays Alicent is amazing.
Yeah.
I was very sad to see. I think his name is Paddy Considine, the man that played the King.
Yeah,
that he wasn't nominated for a fucking Emmy.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he was really good, man.
That like his performance was like the glue that held that whole first arc of it together.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They had, I mean, as a Song of Ice and Fire will have, that was like the crab guy, an evil character of sadistic nature, torturing them and leaving them for crabs to pick apart their body as they're alive. I mean, that's amazing storytelling. The dragons, of course, because you expect that with Targaryens, but the dragons were done very well.
I thought so too.
5 more this season.
Yeah, we're gonna see more of them. Yeah, I mean, it's. Yeah, now is when really all hell's about to break loose, in the story.
I think so. What do we think this is going to run? 3 seasons?
I think at least we might get a 4th out of it.
Yeah, I was thinking 3, but you're right. It could be 4, maybe.
If we get 4, it's probably going to be a limit, 3 to 4 episodes that are an hour and a half long each, just to close everything out.
I think it depends on the pace. Just depends on their pacing.
Exactly.
I think season 3 we'd get the cannibal.
Oh my god, that'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, to see that on screen, I think. I think Game of Thrones has done dragons better than any other property on film.
I think they when they first were doing them, I was a little, I was like, there's some things I wish they did, but they got better with it as it went on. The CGI got better,
And House of the Dragon is
House of the Dragon is great.
The CGI is just like in that little bit of time. The CGI is like 20 times better.
Yeah,
definitely it is.
That stood out for me too. And just the Game of Thrones series, I like the dragons because they didn't just say, "Okay, ta-da, dragons." You watch them grow up as little pups. You watched the blood, you went on a hunt, you got invested in these things growing and expanding and evolving and becoming more self-reliant, and then having that rebellious phase like any teenager would. And they were a character in and of themselves. And they looked good. However, now the CGI on the dragons is next level.
Yeah, I mean, the Bloodworm is amazing looking, dude. They did him exactly the way I imagined he would look to me in my mind. So I'm like, oh, he's awesome, dude.
Perfect.
I cannot wait to see Daemon Targaryen on Vermithor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be fucking amazing, dude. I'm telling you, you can't. Yeah, there's gonna be some fun times because I don't know how far they're gonna get this season into the war.
Mm-hmm.
But we should potentially, start to see some serious battles happen.
Yeah.
Whether it be on Dragonback or by military, some of them are coming, and it's gonna be, it's gonna be interesting.
Dragon battles though that
there are a lot that are gonna happen. They're gonna go down.
The shows, even the little things in the show, like the throne of itself. In Game of Thrones, the throne was, it was small. It was like a cushy chair. Like if you read the books, and I'm sure everyone here has, that Iron Throne was massive. It was huge. Like just climbing up it, you'd cut yourself because everything was sharp. Your clothes. It was made and designed as a piece that was not for comfort.
Right. Because remember ruling is not supposed to be comfortable.
Comfortable, exactly.
Yeah, Robert was the one that took all that shit away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To get a bigger, there was even one of the Targaryen kings they specifically described like all the scars up and down his legs because of just walking to the throne. He'd slice himself on this one or that one. So getting to see that piece in the manner in which it was intended back at that time was cool. It was cool to see that as well. So I absolutely love the first one. The second one I'm all in. No matter how many seasons they go, I'm all in.
I hope they take their time a little bit with it, and I'll tell you why. I don't want them to rush on it. I want them to I feel like that first season they did okay, even though they did do some time jumps. And I got why they did it though, because there's really not that much that goes on between some of those time jumps, other than just normal life, and having baby, and that kind of thing. But the important stuff they got though, which was really cool. I loved it, and they managed to pull that off well. This season should be the season where they got to be careful, because if you go too fast, you're gonna miss shit. You can't miss, and there's important stuff. Some of the battles that happen, some of the shit that's said back and forth. Is important.
One of those series where if you have to get up to use the bathroom, pause it, because if you miss 2 minutes, this doesn't make sense. You missed this thing.
Absolutely.
The first episode is this Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I cannot wait.
Guess what? I get to play D&D until 10, and then
go right to it.
House of the Dragon. We're gonna watch it at the house where I play D&D.
I don't want to get too deep into it, but just out of curiosity, what is your character?
There's a whole bunch of shit that's gonna be going into it. To just say it like this right now, what I'm playing is a Harengon, which is a rabbit folk named Cleos, who is a Drake Warden Ranger and swashbuckler rogue.
like what's his name? Puss in Boots.
Basically, but
that's fucking awesome, dude. I love Puss in Boots.
So
he's a rabbit. That's cool.
When I was building him, House of the Dragon, it just came around, and fucking Wizards of the Coast put out Fizban's Book of Dragons, and so this was a thing that you could play, was a ranger with basically a dragon pet.
Yep.
Well, I was like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna play Aegon Targaryen as a fucking rabbit.
Okay. Nice, dude. That's awesome.
And so I fucking do that. And Drake Warden Ranger is one of the worst pieces of shit for a subclass that I've ever fucking played in D&D.
Yeah. A lot of the Ranger classes are you can multi with them to get some good stuff, but as no.
Yeah, like there's basically two classes of Ranger to play, and neither one of them's Drake Warden.
Yeah.
Gloomstalker and Horizon Walker.
Gloomstalker, is probably the most common.
Yeah, but his name is Cleos, and he is fun as hell because rabbits hop. So I get to hop around the battlefield, and the swashbuckler ability is if I hit you, or actually I don't have to hit you, I just have to attack you, and you cannot do an attack of opportunity on that turn. Yep. So that means I hit you, I get to run away, and you don't get to hit me in return.
Yeah. We've had some that utilize that with I think it was a fighter to some extreme nonsense.
But
I played Barbarian was my last one. It was a barb,
nice
circle, shapeshifter druid, and a barb, and I went with totem barb. And he's the ultimate big bear tank.
Yeah, Moon Druid, Totem Barb.
Totem Barb. Yeah, that's my last character that I just most recently played, and he was the tank. He was on.
All I'm gonna say is, Unearthed Archives. That's my friend.
Unearthed Arcana.
Arcana, yeah, Unearthed Arcana. That's gonna be my friend coming up, and hopefully I get to talk about that soon.
I love that. I think you and I are probably the only ones here that play.
Maya, who's a cast member, plays, and there's some other people that sneak play that don't talk about it a lot.
I did when I was younger. I haven't played in a long time though. I don't. It's been a long time, and I've heard it's so much better now than it used to be.
Well, it's
it
is
the most streamlined system of
which is kind of cool if you think about it. I mean. Back in the day, when I played it, it was like, when people would ask you if you play it, you didn't want to admit it almost because you would pick on you,
The whole satanic panic in the 80s, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I started playing in 90 or 91.
Yeah.
I did. When I was a baby role player, D&D wasn't even my first role playing game. I was a
What'd you do?
You
did Vampire the Masquerade, okay.
Mine was Shadowrun.
Yeah, I did
right there.
Nice.
I did a werewolf one for a while. So we were I was
a Shadowrun guy.
Yeah. Just real quick, I'm gonna run through the last two TV things and then move on to comics so we can get out of here. They've already started a hangout, so
excellent.
Yeah. The next thing is Cobra Kai season 6, the last season of Cobra Kai.
Absolutely, which is huge because it's going to be.
I want to see what fucking craziness John Kreese gets up to.
Well, apparently he's going to be.
He's just broken out of jail, right?
Yeah. But now it's known. But it's going to be known now that he didn't do it. So he's going to be probably the charges are going to be dropped against him anyway now because the one guy, the one fat guy, what's his name? I can't remember his name. Yeah. He came clean. So, but he broke out before he could be released.
Exactly. Yeah. But does it matter if he was innocent in the first place? I mean,
I'm not sure. We'll see. But Terry Silver got taken into custody, didn't he?
Yep.
So he's okay. So he's supposed to be in jail.
See how that goes because he's got good lawyers.
He's filthy rich. Exactly.
Which makes a difference.
Yeah, it does.
Next thing that I want to get to real quick.
Yep.
Batman: The Caped Crusader premieres on Amazon on August 1st.
Really?
I'm excited about this, man. This is gonna be good.
Bruce Timm reimagining Batman the Animated Series by himself, basically.
Yeah, a lot of good hands on this.
Ed Brubaker is an executive producer. Greg Rucka is the main executive producer, I believe, and I think Ed Brubaker is the head writer.
So when you say he's reimagining the Batman the animated series. Okay, like
so like Harley Quinn is
like
going to be a completely different character. Everyone except for basically Batman is going to be completely reimagined.
And
we know
it's set in the 1940s, right? Like I think that's like a
like you don't know because like that was the whole aesthetic of Batman the animated series anyways, was like that Art Nouveau art style.
Yeah. Right.
So like it was a really it may just like look like it's the 40s, but it's trying to ape the animated style a little bit while being more modern.
Okay. All right.
What was your question, David?
Do we know who's doing the voices?
All right, let me see real quick if I can find for you how much of the cast they have. I don't believe they have any of it.
Hopefully, I mean, if they got Harley back, and then hopefully Tara Strong comes on board.
It's a completely different character as Harley.
Yeah.
Harley is going to be an Asian woman.
Yeah, and from what I've read, she's like Bruce Wayne's psychiatrist,
right?
Like this.
And the thing is like she's going to be goofy as Harleen Quinzel, right?
Okay.
But when she's Harlequin, she's going to be like deadly serious and like a super
deadpan.
Okay.
I can't wait for this. I'm already sold.
I mean, he's the original mind behind the animated series.
Yeah.
I mean, this is him wanting to do something with Batman again.
So cool. Because we lost the Batman voice.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, just the greatest.
There's no replacement for Kevin Conroy, and I think that's like a thing to think going into this. Like, you're not going to replace him. But what's a not even a substitute, because like there's been a lot of DC animated movies that use other guys.
Yeah,
and you don't watch those and be like, oh man, this would be good. But for Kevin Conroy doing the voice, so if I used to approach it in that same way, it's not going to be him.
I have to. It's like, it's not a successor. It's not a replacement. It's not, this is just pay homage to it. This is a new thing. This is something different. But as I'm sure with all of you guys, Kevin Conroy was the voice of my Batman for so many years.
To this day, like if I read a Batman comic and he's speaking, like that's the voice in my head is Kevin Conroy.
Same.
Now, like the thing is with Kevin Conroy being so iconic in that role, is we're getting to really, in my opinion, really good performances of Batman in animated series that are like underappreciated, and that's Anson Mount.
Yeah, he did a good
really
job.
good as Batman. I thought
he kind of has that like just like that stentorian kind of like just tone or cadence about him, I guess. And
believe it or not, man, Jensen Ackles is not bad.
Jensen Ackles is good too.
Yeah,
but Anson Mount, he was in one of the Star Trek shows, right?
He started in Discovery and moved over to Strange New Worlds, which is so amazing. It's a beautiful
he's good, man. But Jensen Ackles, he did I think the Long Halloween, or both of those, and
he's been in the Crises so far.
Yeah, and it's again like you read that or you listen to that and you're like, oh, man, I you don't think it's lesser of anything. He does a great job. But I think something like this, because it's got Bruce Timm, you think of Kevin Conroy.
And again, Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka.
Dude, Greg Rucka, man.
If you go
underrated.
Go ahead.
Or I was going to say underrated, like modern comic book writer. Yeah. That guy, he's incredible.
If you go to Google and type in voice of Batman, just imagine who your first pick. Obviously the very first thing that comes up, and I know that Mark Hamill and him had such a great working relationship that we'll not be hearing Mark Hamill again as Joker. As far as
they both had their last performances as their characters in Crisis.
Yeah.
So that tells you how long in development Crisis has been, because Kevin Conroy recorded for it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah.
There's 2 of the Crisis out now, right?
So far, yeah. And then the third.
Well, then and all the sub stuff too, with all the singular think they put out the Green Lantern one, and all things that kind of added up to it.
I'm talking about the animated movie.
Me too. There's tie-ins. There's tie-ins for that Infinite Crisis. Okay. They put out a Green Lantern that tied in. That was like a prequel that tied into the first one of Jon Stewart getting the ring. It all kind of tied in. There's a few different that they put out for that, and I'll get you a list of them when we're done. Yeah. But there's how many? Is there going to be at least one more? There's at least one more, of course.
Yeah, it's just a trilogy. It's the
trilogy. Okay,
1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Now, let's get to the shit that I'm excited for, and then we'll get the fuck out of here. Fucking comics, baby. So, I'm just gonna do Marvel and DC because, like, if we did the Image stuff, there's so much to talk to. It would be a whole fucking episode in and of itself. Yep. So, just to go through what Marvel's gonna be doing in July, Blood Hunt is going to be wrapping up.
Yep. Blood Hunt's really wrap up in July. Yep.
So there's going to be a new miniseries spinning out of that called Blood Hunters, which is a team that's already been introduced in there that has Elsa Bloodstone, fucking Hallows Eve, and a few other people. Really good so far.
Yeah.
They are going to be post Blood Hunter. Post Blood Hunt, Miles and Doctor Strange are going to be vampires still.
Yeah,
so they are actually dealing with it.
That's what I was wondering. I from all the comics I've read so far, I just got four new comics today for Blood Hunt. But I was trying to wonder, I'm like, how in the fuck are they going to change these guys back?
Yeah.
Or are they?
There's going to have to be some fucking crazy shit that happens because, they're like, it's not going to be a permanent thing.
It can't be. We can't have Spider-Man, swinging around the city where he might actually have to stop and snack on somebody. I mean, it's not cool.
Well, that's actually kind of what they're dealing with in the Miles Morales book, which I think is actually kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's
a hero that's a vampire and has to feed.
Right. And it's gonna be rough.
We talked earlier about Disney having acquired Aliens and Predator. Well, they've already done things like Wolverine versus Predator. Well, back in the day, DC and Dark Horse did Superman and Batman versus Aliens. Well, Marvel will be giving us Avengers versus Aliens in July.
Oh
my god!
Nice.
So that should be fun. Like I was disappointed in the What If Aliens written by fucking Paul Reiser. That ends in this upcoming week, I believe, with part 4. But like a lot of the other, like the Marvel Star Wars books and most of their licensed books, like the Alien title and the Predator title by themselves are really good.
Yeah.
And they have top talent on them. Another book coming out from Marvel in July is The Life of Wolverine. It's a chronological telling of Wolverine's life by Jim Zub.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so like
that.
It's going to deal with, all the shit that he remembers now because he has all his memories since House of M.
Oh, shit.
So this should be interesting. Spider-Man Reign is getting a sequel, and this is probably one of the most infamous Spider-Man stories of all time because Mary Jane dies of cancer.
Right.
The cancer is caused because of all of the spider semen that she had absorbed in the fucking years that she'd been with Spider-Man. And Marvel fucking sanctioned this shit, boys and girls.
What?
Well, I mean, if you think about his blood's not like ordinary blood, I mean, it was like a radioactive spider, I guess, that kind of bit him. I don't know. I mean, the normal person might not be able to take the
art for this is kind of cool. It's like Spider-Man in his suit, but like the underneath is just like a white Santa Claus beard. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, I was like, hey, baby. I mean, when has she been drinking it more?
Wow.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god.
I just want to get this right. The next one from Marvel that month, like I'm not gonna go through all of them. I just picked out a very few. But you're not gonna like this, Russ. Giant size Silver Surfer because it's the 50th fucking anniversary of the Surfer.
Giant size Silver Surfer? What the fuck? Like he's gonna be giant,
July 10th. Well, the book is giant size.
Oh! I thought you said they were like you make him giant.
Yeah, why is he so big?
It's like my worst fucking nightmare.
Silver motherfucker big now.
I know. What the fuck are you doing? Oh my god. Okay,
Brian Hitch is doing the cover for this. If you're a fucking Authority or Ultimates fan, it's a Terrax story, which is always really cool. And then it's a reprinting one of my favorite stories from the Ron Mars run. Silver Surfer number 80, with the Surfer in between a fight with Terrax and Morg.
Yeah, if only they would tear him apart, it'd be great.
Yeah.
It just
fucking hate you,
it's
Russ.
not a Silver Surfer guy.
Just cut him in half.
Not, man,
Yeah.
The next story, you fuck, is X-Men Heir to Apocalypse, which I think is going to be 4 parts. And they all come out pretty quick to each other, and it's a modern like reimagining of the 12 storyline. And like
cool.
You see like one of the covers is fucking X-Force Archangel fucking going after Apocalypse.
Huh.
Which, if any of you read X-Men 700, that is one of the most brutal fucking fights in the history of the fucking X-Men. The X-Men versus Apocalypse. And what Apocalypse does to Wolverine and what Nightcrawler does to Apocalypse is fucking great. Oh, fuck. Hey, Scott. Damn, you guys must have took some blue pills to go this long.
Yeah.
Blue Chew sponsor?
Well, you know.
Well,
at my age,
yeah, I need all the help I can get. Fuck.
I can cork the bat. I'm going to cork the bat.
Now, another thing that's really interesting because they're reimagining a lot of these characters as like future versions of themselves and like adding characters that weren't in the original event. They're doing Annihilation 2099.
Oh, wow.
There's going to be like a Silver Surfer 2099. There's going to be like a whole bunch of shit. A Red Hulk 2099.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. The Spider-Man 29 was cool.
In the day.
Yeah.
Maybe they're gonna. I mean, yeah, that's awesome. Actually,
the original Annihilation story is basically what set off with and kicked off the run on this Guardians, like the modern Guardians of the Galaxy, with Keith Gillen and fucking Dan Abnett. Then the last thing for Marvel in July is they're doing interlocking annual stories like they used to do in the 80s, like I think it was like the Kang Conspiracy, Atlantis Attacks. Yeah. What was the really good one? Acts of Vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
Shit like that. So they're doing one this time, and the interlocking story is about the new Infinity Watch.
Ah,
cool.
And there's a new Infinity Stone that was birthed, and it's the Death Stone.
Oh shit! All right.
And fucking Thanos is on the hunt.
Nice.
So going over to DC in July, and I'm gonna run through these as quick as possible because we're running up against time and shit. Absolute Power 0. I showed you guys the trailer for this event. Coming out of this whole Trinity of Evil storyline. Amanda Waller has Amazobots, and the heroes are on the run. And there's a lot to fucking go on. This is DC's major summer event. They're saying there is going to be crisis level impact coming out of this event, and it looks like it with all the titles that are involved because it's basically every fucking book in their line.
And for what little bit I've seen of what's coming up, it's going to be with the new evil triad, and it's got some amazing concepts to it. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they go.
Yeah. Absolute Power Task Force 7 is going to be the event told from the evil side. So it's going to be like Waller. Each episode is going to have, each issue is going to have a different point of view from the evil side. So Waller, Failsafe's going to have one. Yeah, it's going to be freaking cool. Mini-series that's really interesting coming out of this that's going to start in July also is Absolute Power Origins. And it's going to be Amanda Waller's fucking origin and why she hates superheroes so much.
Okay. That'd be fun, finally.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Now, like, one of my sleeper books of last year from DC was Dark Knights of Steel. It's a fantasy, like, superhero story. Like, medieval fantasy, fucking just, yeah, go. Well, there's a fucking sequel coming out called All Winter.
Winter's coming.
And yeah, so again, like, that book was like one of my sleeper books of the year last year. Now, the next book that I want to talk about is Penguin. Penguin 12 is coming out in July, and that's the end of this maxi series, and this is probably the best fucking book no one is reading.
I have to check that out because I haven't read anything with it. So
yeah, it's an amazing story. It's about the Penguin coming back to Gotham after like all this shit in his life fucking throws him out of the city. His kids have deposed him and all this shit, and it's him coming back for blood, and it is so good, and it shows like he's more of an equal to Batman than Batman ever thought. And
wow,
yeah,
awesome.
Like the last arc of this the last 3 issues has been fucking amazing.
Great.
All right, where the fuck did I go with my little shit? Okay, Sinister Sons ends. This is the son of Zod and the son of Sinestro. And this is going to be basically turning out into different books. So this is going to be their fall event. Zod versus Sinestro.
God damn.
And so these 2 kids are, involved in the event, and it's been a fun little thing with like different characters that you don't expect in it, and like DC's doing a Zod book that runs alongside this, and Sinestro's been in Green Lantern, and now his story's continuing here. And the last one for DC in July is from the DC Vault, Death in the Family, Robin Lives.
No.
So they printed the version that Jim Starlin wrote for back in the day when they did the phone-in vote for Jason Todd to die.
Yeah.
Right.
So they published the supposed version of the script that Jim Starlin had for that comic. Now, supposedly, this is, I believe, Jim Starlin going back and reimagining what the next issues of Batman would have been if fucking Jason Todd had lived.
If he had gotten out of the warehouse before it blew up.
Yeah.
Or didn't take quite as many crowbars to the face.
Yeah, right.
Oh, shit. God damn, dude.
Yeah, that was probably peak of when I was really reading Batman. It was an era that was really, it was fantastic.
I like Jason Todd more than I like fucking Tim Drake.
Agreed.
Well, okay, Tim Drake was the one that I always called the smart. He was just the overly smart, nerdy Robin. He was the Robin that couldn't fight for shit, get his ass kicked all the time, but he was a pretty smart kid, but he just got his ass kicked.
He's the stalker Robin.
Yeah,
that's how he became Robin. He stalked Batman.
Yeah, and then Jason Todd was the one who, one might not so bright upstairs, but he was tough. kick and rumble, man. You get it on,
Fucking, you can tell it was an 80s crime story because fucking Batman fucking got him after Jason Todd was stealing the wheels off the Batman.
Absolutely. Which I think is kind of cool, actually. Gives you an idea of what Jason Todd was into, So
I'm still a Grayson guy, but I love Nightwing, so
yeah.
Well, he's the best Robin. I know. You're gonna say it's Damian. I know.
I think it's Damian, but the reason why I don't think it's Dick is because he's so much better as Nightwing than he is Robin.
Well, no, I would say you're probably right. I mean, that's a good point.
That is fair.
But
go ahead.
I think I can't judge Damian. I gotta judge Damian when he's older, not when he's a kid. When Damian gets older, he'll be better than He'll become a better Robin than.
He'll be the best fighter amongst all.
Yeah, and actually Damian's pretty smart. Damian's pretty.
He might be already. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, he definitely took Dick Grayson toe to toe, and that's when he was a kid. So it lets you know. I mean,
he almost killed fucking Tim.
I mean,
then he escapes the fucking Batcave and ties out. He gets the best of Alfred too.
It's one thing to be trained by a Batman. It's another thing to be Batman's damn offspring.
Well, it's also another thing to be
trained by the League.
10 years old and trained by the League of Assassins.
Yeah. I mean, where you're, he
fucking Rothschild Ghoul's grandson. Right, you better be able to fucking fight.
Yeah, and then your mother's fucking Talia. Give me a break. She's great, I mean, it's
Grant Morrison, man. I'd love to know what the fuck he was smoking when he came up with this shit because it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, wonderful, man.
Now, August from Marvel. Let's get through this quickly as possible.
All right.
But please ask questions if you need to. Mm-hmm. Gail Simone's Uncanny X-Men is coming out, and that book is being described as like the feel of the Australian Outback X-Men, but in New Orleans. So it's Gambit, Rogue, Wolverine, Jubilee, and somebody else. And so that should be really interesting. Then sticking with the X-Men theme for the next two, Hickman and Capullo's Wolverine is coming out.
That's a team, man.
And yeah, it's supposed to be some kind of real chirpy Hickman story, and Capullo's art on it has looked amazing. Go to bleedingcool.com and there's a preview up already. Huge story to me, because when you think about it, it should have happened like a very long time ago. Storm is joining the main Avengers team.
That's cool.
Okay.
Great. I'm all on that.
Yeah. And like Storm has come into her own again, like being the leader of the mutants on Mars and shit. Mm-hmm. And like her whole ties to Magneto now are amazing. The way that this whole Orcus storyline, the whole Krakoa thing has like ended up. She's come out as like one of the fucking mutants to watch. Like she's that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. She's like a god, dude.
Really? I mean, Omega level
she was worshipped as a goddess in Africa.
She might as well be. Her power is like, I feel like she controls it and keeps it under control.
Thor a run for his money every time they see you.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Sam probably had to go to bed, man.
I'm getting there myself. It's about time for me to crash.
All right, so let me do this again. Predator versus Black Panther.
Okay.
Enough said about that. Venom War is coming, which is not what you think it is. It is Dylan Brock versus Eddie Brock for control of the Venom symbiote.
When Venom Wars, I would think symbiotes versus symbiotes versus symbiotes, but this is actually kind of more. It's more of an intimate kind of battle. It's closer related to two personalities,
right?
Vying for one personality.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Fucking like spinning out of Blood Hunt is there's going to be a new Werewolf by Night book.
Ah, cool.
Oh, cool.
With a new Werewolf by Night, and also
Nice.
Jack Russell's going to be in the book, I believe, is what they said. The last book that not the last book, but one of the books for Spider-Man coming out is Chasm: The Curse of Cain.
Okay.
So Ben Reilly's been really fucking up in the Spider-Man books recently and has become a new character called Chasm, who basically is called that because he has a chasm in his head of memories. He doesn't remember most of his shit as that he was implanted in him, like Peter Parker's memories. So he does, that time is just like a blank in his mind.
Oh shit! So he doesn't have any idea of his existence. Really, it's like he has no memories of his. God damn! I don't know, that's wild.
So Cain is going to be hunting him down to try to redeem him.
Wow.
Awesome.
Shit, that's pretty cool.
Again, moving on to Amazing Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man number 950.
Wow.
And this is a story that's been in the works since the Kindred storyline. This is the return of Tombstone as basically the new Kingpin of New York.
Nice. Fucking cool. I love Tombstone.
Yeah. There's great stuff coming up, man.
Yeah, they do.
Then there's also a new book coming out called Phases of the Moon Knight, and this book is going to be different Moon Knights from history.
With different gods? Or the same god?
Same god, same conjurer.
Okay, so it's
They're
so different.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, different channeler. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So that's what's coming out from Marvel this summer. Moving on to DC for August. We're getting a new Jenny Sparks book by Tom King. Now, Jenny Sparks was a character in The Authority, and The Authority is going to be a movie coming out in James Gunn's DC universe. So, introducing this character back into the DCU, comics is going to be a huge thing. Sorry.
Pretty good.
It's dry as fuck. I already got up once for a drink, and we're almost done. Gotham City Sirens is coming back. And basically what I always equated this to, and looking at the art for this, it was always the Cheesecake sister to Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Where Birds of Prey was your serious book that had, your female characters like Black Canary, Huntress, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Gotham City Sirens was always kind of like the Cheesecake book.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They're ending their DC versus Vampires line with DC versus Vampires World War V. And it's supposed to be like Wonder Woman and Damian versus everybody.
Holy shit. Everyone's going to get turned into a fucking vampire?
Yeah.
It should end it that way where everyone loses and everyone's a vampire. The bad guy, they prevail and the whole world's screwed.
Yeah.
God damn.
Then the last thing is JSA number 12 is coming out. This is Jeff Johns had come back to JSA, which is one of my favorite runs of comics of all time. He left to start his own company, Ghost Machine, with other creators like Brian Hitch. I forget who the other writers are, but it's all great talent, and they're doing some really interesting books like Red Coat. This book was plagued by that because he was setting up his own company. He was fucking the director of DC's movies and shit. Like, he was the creative director for all of that. And so he was doing all of this shit at the same time while relaunching, like, DC's oldest super team. So, like, the book was amazing, but nobody fucking read it because it was completely plagued by every fucking delay you could fucking imagine. And, like, it was such it's such a sprawling story that, like, those fucking delays just killed it.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah. All right, man. This was the longest show we've probably done in like 3 or 4 years. It's almost 3 hours, bro. You guys are fucking troopers. 2:48, brother. All right. Next week is a hangout, and we are going to be doing the online version of Cards versus Humanity. If you want to come on,
I'm all in.
Okay, and if you want to protect your identity, all you have to do is turn your fucking camera off and come in with a fucking burner account. Let's fucking go and let's have fun, baby.
I am protected.
Sounds good.
Here I am.
Yeah, ma'am. As I say every week as we get out of here, peace, love, and hair grease. We're out. Love you
Adios, guys.
Peace.